honey because Mercy wanted me to give up sugar with her for Lent.
And that was how we opened.
Told you I could do weird stuff.
Are we live? Are we live? Was
Yes.
anything?
Yes.
Come on, dude. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Sweet. Changing the game. Welcome back to Taikangaard. Y'all don't have a group name, so that's why this whole thing is just called Taikangaard. But it's good to have everybody. We actually have everybody here, which is awesome. It's good to see you all. So
You're right. This is all of us.
It is all of us. All 5. I honestly can never remember how many people are in
so
this
many.
group. Yes, there are 6 characters and only 5 players, and it just makes me very confused all the time.
Are we using Roll20?
No, I'm not. I never use Roll20, dude.
Cool.
I'm not close.
All right. So last we left off, we're gonna do a bit of a quick recap. So you guys are in quite the fun position. So briefly following the death of Haran, the contact that the Telev sent you to meet, carrying what you found out to be a letter, a hush-hush letter, some hush-hush money, and a hush-hush warrant for his arrest. Shortly following his death, as you guys were were examining the house and trying to figure out what was going on and why someone would try to kill this person, what had killed him, etc. You were approached by a woman who claimed to be Haran's wife. I know how to do these things. Who claimed to be Haran's wife and stayed and asked you several questions. You, through a series of events, explained that you had just shown up, and as you guys were leaving after dropping off the package, you had heard the man die behind you. She said that she was unsure of who would have tried to kill her husband, but she recognized the wine as having been a gift from one of their supporters. And so she asked that you would go and get the guards, and unfortunately, through a series of unfortunate events and slight variations in the story, the guards became very suspicious of you all and decided to take some of you in for questioning. The party was split up for the most part. Fenmir and Francis, who had gone with Felix to go find the guards, ended up separated, and Francis and Azalea and Clover ended up back at the inn trying to figure out what to do and packing just in case of a need for a speedy escape. But unfortunately, Amari and Ven and who else was with you guys? Felix, yes, ended up taken down to the guard station to be questioned on about the murder and the circumstances. As to the guards, at least, everything seemed very suspicious. Fortunately, you were able to speak with Sergeant. Do I have that right? Sergeant. Sergeant. No, that's Lieutenant Abad. Sergeant Shabazz. I'm actually getting these names right for once. So you guys spoke with Sergeant Shabazz and finally were able to fully explain from beginning to end the entire circumstances of what had happened. Sergeant Shabazz was able to get you a meeting with his superior, Lieutenant Abad, who you had met when you first entered the city. And he offered you a deal. He offered to get the protection of the Talebs for you, as well as the protection of the guards, if you would cooperate and help them with the investigation and help get to the bottom of everything that was happening. While he did not directly threaten any of you, he made it very clear that if you chose not to help, that you would be on your own trying to get yourselves out of the city, and he strongly discouraged you guys disappearing in the night. Fenmir, on the other hand, was also had an adventure of his own and headed back to the Talebs and reported on what had happened, and also received a similar seemingly veiled threat, saying that he should be very careful not to omit any parts of his story as he talked to the Talebs. So you all were able to meet back up at the tavern, and you are now huddled in the room in a different room, having trying to make sure no one follows you and tries to kill you in the night. And if they do, they're led to the wrong room. So you're now huddled in a somewhat cramped room, trying to figure out what exactly you want to do. So, with that, what do you guys want to do?
So we're getting out of here, right? Like, we didn't do anything significantly wrong. So we can skip town and give it a few months and they'll probably forget about us.
That's debatable.
We could like wait for like the unsolved mysteries scroll to get circulated. That was supposed to be a joke.
Don't know
Ha
what
ha
you
ha 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 ha.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean. Forget it.
Yeah, these people are super shady. But that does beg the question of, if we skip town, how bad are things going to be for us? Are we going to be fighting off their assassins?
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with assassins.
I don't want to deal with assassins either. And I'm not sure we're safe no matter what we pick.
All right, here's what
the
we
thing,
do.
Though. I'm just thinking.
Hang on.
We're thinking here. All right, so Shabazz done right by us 3 times now.
But, except for the bit where we asked him, we're not sure if the Talevs are trying to kill us, so maybe don't turn us over to somebody who's clearly in their pocket, and he then did. Although it's possible he didn't know. I'm very disappointed.
So
That's
here's
true.
what we do. I have an idea. Here's what we do. We find an old farmer. Someone
Why?
that, like, is on death's door,
No.
Because we just got 2,000 gold pieces. So we say,
I don't
give
know what you're
him...
gonna say, but I don't think I'm gonna like it.
We give him, say, 400 gold pieces for his family to make sure they're set up after he dies, and get him to
What do you mean after he
confess
dies?
to the murder. And then that way he goes to prison and gets executed for the murder, and we don't have to really worry about it.
I don't
Dear
No!
God, Fenmir!
Do you hear yourself?
I need a drink! I don't even drink anymore, and I need a drink!
That's his,
How about some tea? I can make
Unnecessarily
everyone some tea while we discuss.
No, I actually want a drink!
I'm gonna pull
Azalea's
out my
gonna start
flask
making
and start
tea
to
for
hand it to you,
everyone.
then I go, oh wait. And then just put it back.
Do you want me to go downstairs and fill it up?
No, because I have something in the flask.
Oh, did
Oh,
you?
right.
Yeah.
Trying to poison me.
Yes, Ben takes a drink, immediately dies.
Okay, how about this?
Don't you forget us.
We find an old farmer, but instead of paying him to be, to take the fall for us, we just use a little bit of the poison that we took and put it in his wine, make it look like a virtually identical murder, and then we wait in our room with the guards knowing that we're there.
Wait,
He drinks it, he's discovered dead while we're still in the room and we're out scot-free.
But we just
So
don't
you
know
want
the
to
tell
I
actually
don't think we've murdered people anymore.
We
They
didn't
know
murder
we
anyone.
haven't. And if we do that, we will actually have murdered somebody.
I'm with Ben on
And
this one. Ow.
You
Are you okay? What did you do?
So, I've been blowing my nose a lot, so my nose is slightly sore, and I definitely just squirted grapefruit juice on the sore part of my nose.
I squirted grapefruit juice up my nose.
I didn't see that too, I promise, but also that's
I never thought this would be a problem I would be having, but...
Welcome back, Harley.
I miss you.
Please continue. I'm not crying.
Harley's just so upset at the concept of murdering an old farmer man that she's bursting into tears out of game.
Honestly,
we
Azalea
wouldn't-
would do that.
Darn it, Fenrir, if there weren't any farmers, we wouldn't have any food. You want to have no food thing?
Whew. Oh,
We're not going to be around long enough to suffer for it.
I thought the point was to survive.
yeah.
I'm
I
not
would
saying
prefer
we're going to
to-
die. I'm saying we're skipping town.
I see you're saying.
All right. Who? No, here,
We're
guys.
not.
Look,
We're not murdering anyone. We don't
Well-
need anything to do with
well,
old farmers.
Well,
Let the
we
elderly
could go the
farmers.
poetic justice route and sneak into the Talev's house and poison them.
We're not murdering anyone.
Where's the kid drinks it though?
I mean, so.
What would be the point?
That's just one less person that knows about the jewels in the cave.
But wait, one moment. What would be the advantage of doing any of this?
That is awful.
dear
He's
God,
child.
brother mine, you have become. When did you become such a terrible person?
Are you proud?
Why would I
When
be
did it become
proud?
normal for me to smile? You can't tell that I'm joking?
Honestly, your video's kind of fuzzy, so no.
Yeah, I can't see you smiling like
your facial features on your nose don't really exist.
Yeah,
In
honestly,
my
like,
video,
I thought,
Everyone's face is less than an inch tall, so
yeah, I legitimately thought that you were being like dead serious about that, like as a DM. So
Hmm.
I was
Actually,
only
though-
partially being serious. I was only being serious about one of those ideas. I'm not going to tell you which one.
Actually, though, I want a drink.
who are you pointing at, darling?
Does anybody else want a drink?
Francis will take one.
Sandy.
I think I'll be good for now.
Um,
But should we be doing what? Like, how long are you going to be gone? Like, should we be doing something to get like what are we? Should we be doing something while you? In the meantime, I don't.
I'm going to go up to the roof.
I'm gonna go down to the bar.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
ask.
give everyone else tea.
Thank you. I'm going to ask Clover what she thinks because she has experience skipping town with the bards that she used to hang out with.
Ooh,
That's a good point.
I'm gonna go up to. We're gonna have you hold that thought because Clover's your character, so I'm gonna impromptu think of things real quickly.
I mean, she's an NPC. You can. Have
She
her
is
do
an
what you like.
NPC, but also like I don't know what you imagined her as having done. So give me like I'm gonna use this opportunity to think of some improv things while we're on the roof. So Fenrir, what are you doing on the roof?
on the
Well,
roof.
this inn is in the wall.
That's
The
correct.
exterior wall of the city.
That is
The
correct.
roof is the top of the wall. I'd like to use the scope of thorns and kind of like scout out around the area, see if I can see how many guards are looking at this particular area of the wall. And I'd like to see how far down it is to see if we have enough rope.
Okay, I do want to check. Andrew, is that something that we definitely established that I know it's in the wall, but is it the roof and the top of the wall are level? Okay, cool. And you're trying to see how far down.
To lower rope outside the city from the top of the wall.
Okay, I'm going to actually research this because I feel like most floors in a regular house are.
10
Like
to 14 feet.
Oh, it's not, okay. I was gonna say that 9 feet is
14-foot ceilings?
Not
That's
necessarily ceiling, but you're taking into account the thickness of the floor, the thickness of the ceiling,
Okay.
insulation, etc.
All right, I appreciate you
That's
throwing that
fair.
out there. Then in that case, we're
Commonly
gonna add
10-foot ceilings.
since
My
this is
house
ancient
isn't
times, I'm going to assume that there's not really much insulation being built in.
Well,
Probably a
yes,
little bit
but if it's
shorter
also
too.
carved out of a stone wall, then you're going to assume a foot or two of stone to be able to
Mhm.
support its own weight.
Mm.
I appreciate that. That saves me from googling. So we'll say 14. Thank you. I'm gonna say it's 3. You've got 3 stories in here. 3 stories of rooms. So the tavern, so like the bar
30 feet.
/ tavern.
So
Is
54
on-
feet.
Yes. No.
Wait.
No.
Thir-
42. 14 times 3 is 42.
I understand that, but then you also have the... Okay, whatever. We'll go with 42. It saves us a little rope.
Oh no, Ethan. I think you're right because you're talking about because the roof is another level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have
Not
a ceiling, so it would
necessarily.
only be 12 feet.
Oh no, you're right.
Yeah, no, it.
So it should be
I'm
around
also not.
50.
1 sec. I don't know that it would be. Those of you who have been in Israel, how do you usually get onto, like, how would you get onto the roof of a building from the top floor? Because I'm assuming it's going to be a similar building
Teleportation.
structure.
I mean, like, what type of, like, what era building?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm thinking, like, this is like Middle East / Egypt style. So let's call it Jesus times.
Okay, then most commonly the
Most-
stairs to the roof would be outside of the building. They would be
Okay.
tacked onto the outside of a wall.
Okay, so not
Yeah.
really realistic.
Yeah. But I mean, like,
Okay,
a
so then what?
trapdoor is not that hard to imagine.
Yeah, like, because I was
Yeah.
thinking like
a
it should just,
trapdoor would make sense.
like there's like there's one like side room where there's an open area where you can get like a ladder in and it has a door. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's on the same plane. So like you go down the hall, there's a door. It's probably locked. And then you open it, you climb up either the stairs or the ladder, and that's how you get onto the flat roof.
Oh. Okay, that makes sense.
That's how it was in Mexico, at least. They had a staircase, but like you could do that.
I mean,
so
why
I'm gonna
couldn't they
say,
use that?
yeah. So I'm gonna say I'll give you like that extra 3 feet, I guess. So let's call it 45 feet just to round it off.
Cool.
So it's 45 feet, but you do notice because there's no gap between like the edge of the building and the wall. The wall, there's like the walls are very thick, so they're.
Well, I thought this inn was built into the wall.
Yeah, it's like
So like we
Oh,
would be
true.
on
You're
top
right.
of the wall.
this is something that I never actually clarified. So is there a I never clarified this. Is it built into the wall as like a what do you think, like a tower or a rampart, or is it like directly like or is like its back wall like literally the outside of this city?
We went in a previous episode when there was that whole riot going down.
Yeah.
We climbed up to the roof to watch it, and I am fairly certain we had said in there that the roof of this tavern was the top of the city wall. Like
Ooh,
this
okay.
tavern was carved into the city wall.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
that sounds very familiar, and that was what I was going to say. Is that the back wall of the tavern is the wall? So yeah, so you can go over it, but when you're looking down, which you shouldn't need the scope, you can really just stick your head over. How are you using? Like, what do you mean when you're using the scope? Actually, because in order to see down, you'd have to just look over the edge. So the scope's not really going to tell you anything. Your vision's good enough that you should be able to see.
Well, I'm not worried about looking down the wall. I'm worried about looking across the wall, because if I can stand on top of the wall, there's probably parapets where guards would be standing.
Yes. Okay. That I can understand. So yeah, you can see that it is very heavily guarded, this wall, and if you do decide at some point that you want to look down, you do also see that there is a patrol of guards walking along. And if you look and using the scope, if you look further down the wall, like along it, you can see like there are a couple of other like buildings and homes, or like there's like one other tavern that looks like it's kind of built into the wall in a similar fashion. And there's also more guards over there as well.
Do the guards have a way of getting to our roof? Sorry, I'm not there.
I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
Well, I imagine that the wall is pretty uniform in its continuity.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to chill upstairs on the roof long enough to get an idea of the guard routes, like the time between their shifts, etc., to know when and how long of a gap we will have should we decide to skip town, by going over the side of the wall. I'd like to know when and how long to do it.
Okay. So I have a couple questions for you. What did I say was the range of thorns? I'm just trying to see how far you can see. through the set scope.
Thorns has a range of 80 feet.
80 feet. Okay. Okay.
However,
Alright.
the scope would be able to comfortably see 160 because that's how far I have with disadvantage.
Okay. Okay, that's what I figured. I figured it was like probably like 80 feet. All right, so you
Sorry.
can see. Or bless you, all your future children, blah blah blah. Okay, these are going to be Gabrielle feet. Please don't, kill me. But I'm gonna say,
Gabrielle feet.
shut up. Like,
And these are Ethan feet.
so based on Gabrielle measurements, which is her best guess, so just roll with it. Don't eat me. I'm gonna say about 1,000 feet down is another, would be another parapet, like another guard outpost. So there's one like right below you, and you do notice those guards that are like and then there's another like there's another guard like over there, but you do see there's two guards below you, and you notice that between the two of them, they're kind of walking between here and the inn that's between here and the next parapet. Stop making faces.
Really, a
look at-
quarter of a mile between guard posts. I like it.
I mean, that's actually not entirely unheard of.
Yeah, no, that,
Because you would have guard patrols on the ground. You don't need as many
Yeah.
parapets on the
Well, I'm
top.
not
of the wall.
arguing that it's wrong. I'm just saying it's not half bad for us.
I mean,
Also, this town/city doesn't necessarily have the guards to be able to keep up a continuous, like a 24/7 every 50-foot watch.
yeah, and
You
like,
know?
What's
This
happening?
isn't wartime.
yeah, in like the middle of nowhere, you're trying to get an army over a 45-foot wall. I mean, good luck.
They're not being sieged right now
Yeah.
either.
Sorry.
No, what's up?
Oh, this
I
is
mean-
all good for us stuff.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
What's
so
up,
you're
Noah?
seeing.
What is happening?
Where have you been?
I had a friend who we needed to talk.
It's okay. It's okay.
The group appears to be splitting for a short time, I guess, to contemplate options and stuff.
Yeah, not really much of anything. You didn't miss anything. Denmir threw out some joking ideas of murdering people, and now he's on the roof trying to figure out how many guards are around.
Yeah.
But
By the
And-
way, do you want to drink? Ben went to go get drinks for people.
he's a child.
Yes. And
This is the
He's
Middle
a
Ages.
teenager. The drinking age in Russia is 12.
Woo!
yeah, I'm sorry.
Currently?
Does Tamarna have a legal drinking age?
It's the
Okay,
Middle
so it's like-
Ages. Who
Days, I think
cares?
not.
This is mostly Renaissance days. Like, if you have enough water to survive, it's surprising. So your 6-year-old is still probably drinking liquor.
Beer. We'll settle on
There
beer.
we
know
go.
what
Do
I
you
mean.
want to drink, bro?
I'm saying I don't think vodka was a common beverage for like children ever.
And
I hope not.
apparently it was.
That's
I will
right.
make a note. It's a drinking age of 12 for what they would consider soft drinks, being beer and wine.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I mean, like, you're saying, like, 12-year-old can have vodka now.
I'm still offering.
questioning.
Does he want to drink? So,
Sure,
Sure.
he does.
Dandy. All right.
I
Drinks for
thought we
three.
were like talking to guards. I'm
No. Tenmir is up on the roof trying to scope out where the guards are at.
okay.
So real quick, just to clarify, it's about 1,000 feet between our current the guard post right below us and the next parapet, and there is a patrol that walks. It's 2 of them walking towards each other, and they exchange locations, basically.
I'm trying to think this through because I hadn't planned this out very well. I apologize. So where you are, from where you can see the next parapet down, and you have to walk like a little bit along the roof in order to like kind of squint and see, because you said you have a range of 160 feet, not 1,000. But there are 2 guards under you, and it seems like, from what you can from as best you can tell, it looks like there's only one at the next parapet. And your best guess is that because there's like 2 inns right here and they're right on the wall, they want to make sure nobody's like doing anything weird, like jumping out, like trying to like rob the inns, like coming off the wall or what have you. So there's 2 here, and it looks like there's only 1 down there. And when you're looking off to the side, like again, another, like, you assume like every 1,000 feet there is another one.
Okay, so there's 2 here, 1 down there, 1 down there,
You
and then
you
the
don't
2
know,
here
like,
go in either direction. I'm trying to understand. I'm watching long enough to understand their patrol routes.
right, but you're only seeing patrols from like. Oh yeah, you're right. No, you would get one from the third. I don't know. Let me think about this. I'm sorry.
Because the way that you described it and the way that it would most commonly happen is that the 2 at this location would walk in opposite directions, but it would usually be 4, and it would be 2 in either direction. They would walk in opposite directions, and then the ones from the opposite parapets would cross them at the midpoint and come and they would exchange locations.
Yeah, that was what I was. Is that it's like going on like a loop, like this.
Yeah.
So you're going out this direction. There are 2 at yours. You do, from what you can tell, there's only 1 coming, like that ever comes like on this end, like from these ends. Because it is still dusk. You're not sure what like it might, if depending on how long you're out here. Once night, like how long are you planning on staying out here? Actually,
Just long enough to understand what the patrol routes look like.
okay.
So like a couple of patrol routes, patrols, is what 30 minutes, 45 minutes,
I don't know how fast can you walk a quarter of a mile.
assuming an average walking speed of 5 miles per hour. Well, in armor it would be more like 3 miles per hour.
So
That would be what, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Let me calculate that actually.
Because 3 miles per hour, a quarter of a mile, it would be a 12th of an hour, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes,
That checks out.
I butchered that math, but yeah. So about every 5 minutes you're noticing. So if you're only out there for about 10 minutes, then you do notice that. So.
So if we move quickly, we would be able to get everybody over the wall while nobody was able to see us. If we did it at night.
Yes, based on your current observations. That.
Cool. That's what I wanted to know. I go back inside.
Okay. That's you done. Somebody said something about something else that they wanted to do, right? Were there 3 people told me that they want to do stuff? I know you want to go down to the bar. Somebody
Carly said she was making tea.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Andrew said he was asking Clover.
Okay, we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
So, you are going down to the bar. I might have to do something.
I need to go into extreme detail on the tea making.
Ooh.
Yes, what kind of tea are you making, everybody?
How many points have you put into craft tea?
You know?
Harley, the person, has put quite a number of points in. I can vouch for that. She makes good tea.
Thanks, Tasha.
Hey, I like my Christmas teas.
Glad to hear it. Also, what happened? Why is Spotify opening?
That's entertaining. So you go down to the bar then, and it's kind of crowded right now because, as I said, it was dusk, and so there's a lot of people here who seem to come down, either come down or are coming in for the evening meal. Most of the tables are full. There's a lot of good smells coming from the kitchen, and the room is kind of filled with barmaids kind of like running in between tables trying to get everyone's orders, and there's a large crowd also at the counter like waiting to make requests and everything else. You do notice that there is a bard, obviously not Clover. Clover's upstairs, that is now playing up by the hearth and having coins thrown to her every few minutes, and someone is dancing alongside her. So it's very busy, very crowded. You kind of muscle your way up to the bar, and the bartender kind of gives you a tired look. Yes, what can I get for you?
3 regional drinks. I don't know what big
3
drinks they have.
regional beverages.
Just
Three
wine.
regional
Not to you.
beverages, thank you.
3 wines. 3 wines, please.
That'll be one silver. No, that's how much the room is. That'll be 2 copper.
Note, it's actually going to be 2 wines she gets.
All right, well, that'll be 1 copper.
Okay. Oh, and off a copper.
Yay, copper wine.
There are no
Evil
seats
little
at the bar,
box
you
wine.
noticed.
All right.
Can you check your messages real fast?
Me?
No.
Sorry.
I answered.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so you get the
I
cup
assume it's
back.
taking a little bit to process
It is.
in the busyness. All right, I'll
yeah.
go take a seat while I wait.
Okay, so you look around and you have to move quickly because you kind of lock eyes with a couple that's coming in over like one of the last seats, and you kind of like scoot your
Mine.
way in, just
Mine.
you kind of scoot your way in, and the wife or the girl, whatever she might be, like kind of shoots you a dirty look.
Shoot her a dirty look right back.
All right. The man seems but basically oblivious. All right. I'm going to ask the rest of you, lovely people, to take your headphones out.
Oh no.
Oh, this is Tasha?
Yes, everybody except Tasha.
Oh god, what have I got myself into?
Alright, everybody has received said instructions. Harley, I know you don't have headphones, so if you don't mind just muting. Okay.
Alright.
Alright, so you sit down, and you're kind of bouncing around, and it's, by whatever luck, it seems to be it's a very good spot. It seems that it was avoided a little bit because it's kind of secluded. You can't really see the performers very well. There's like a pillar in your way, but you have a pretty good vantage point to see the rest of the room. And as soon as you sit down, you catch eyes with someone also sitting by themselves and wearing a cloak with their hood up, or with their hood pulled back just a little bit, but they seem very nondescript, nursing just a single drink. As one of the barmaids passes by, he taps his shoulder and puts an order in. And you're not sure why you're drawn to this person, but there's something very different about them. They seem built differently from everyone else. They're human. There aren't too many. There's a good mix of races in here, but almost everyone in here is with somebody. Even the people who look like they're loners are crowded in tables with other people. This is the only person. First of all, it seems to be the only person who's more sober than everyone else, and the only one sitting alone.
I'm gonna lock eyes with the individual.
You see his eyes, their eyes graze over you, and almost not even seem to acknowledge you. Make a quick perception check for me.
Oh, not half bad. 30-20.
Okay, yeah. You notice their eyes linger on you for like a half second, but it seems just to be enough of acknowledgement before they go back to talking to the barmaid. The barmaid walks on, and the individual doesn't make any move towards you for a couple of moments.
For a couple of moments, you said?
Yes.
What happens then?
All right, so you're just waiting. A moment later, as another barmaid passes, he stands up and kind of moves over to your table in a very fluid motion.
All right.
You asked to meet?
Yes. I'm gonna bring him up to speed on what I found out about the Talevs. The sort of messy situation. And say, if you want, I don't know what you want to do with this. It seemed like news worth reporting, but since the Talevs are trying to bribe the group I am currently with into working for them, it seemed prudent to ask if you wanted interference. If you want somebody working on behalf of the Talevs, then I may be uniquely suited to make that happen. If you want somebody working against them, then passing along the information might be the best I can do, as I suspect that I might be a bit conspicuous in that aspect. And if you just want me to skip town, that works too. Is this, by the way, the same person as before?
It is actually a different person.
Wow, the Elven Spy Service seems to imply a lot of humans.
Well, from what you can tell, it's a human. They're still wearing a cloak, but the face seems relatively humanoid.
I mean, I hope it's humanoid.
Yes. Well, like as
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah. The longer you're observing, you've got a good perception check. You are noticing like lumps in areas that you're wondering possible dragonborn, but not dragonborn, tiefling, but you're not entirely sure. The person they kind of sit there and they don't really acknowledge too much of what you're saying for a long time. They keep sipping the drink as you tell the whole story. Then finally, well, you're not exactly in a position to make your position in the rectory is under question due to your
Yes.
disappearance. I'm sure you've been made aware.
They didn't say that it was under question.
You
However.
didn't, or I, or what? Sorry,
I didn't say that my job was under question. I understand that disappearing for a month is suspicious, and if I could answer any questions about it, I'd be happy to, if I could damn well remember it.
Keep your voice down. I don't know who's listening.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I would advise that you keep your voice down. It's hard to tell who's listening these days. The rectory has some questions and would like you to prove your loyalty in a sense. So we have an assignment for you.
What do you want me to do?
You can basically forget about the Tilevs. The assignment may include some involvement with them, but they are only part of the picture. We are aware of what is happening with the Tilevs, or at least with the incident this evening. You should be.
Idiots in this group don't understand how to actually lie well. Ugh. Hate working with incompetence.
You have always had the... what, did they force you to stay or something?
They're useful. Why should I throw away assets if I can use them instead?
And teach them to be better liars. Find a way.
We'll work on it. Haven't had a lot of time.
In any case, you don't need... This is not... This goes far beyond what little bit the Tilevs are including. I don't want to give all the details here, but what you need to know is that the rectory is involved. The rectory is not involved in protecting the Tilevs, but I'm assuming you mentioned Haran's information.
Yes.
Haran's information is we're not entirely sure where he got it. We're trying to work that out, but we know the name of the politician that she's being worked with, that she's working with, Krishnan. Krishnan hails from Mariel, but Krishnan is known to very few as a Stereos expatriate.
Can you spell Krishnan, please?
K-A-R-I-S-H N-E-N.
An Asterios expatriate, you said?
Yes. At least that is how she's officially known. We, as the rectory, of course, as you know very well, we make it our business to know a lot more than that. Krishnan is actually a double agent working with the Stereos government, trying to find ways to infiltrate into the Jalbar government.
Oh.
She's trying to create... She's in charge of... She basically has the same job as Mirana Talev and is in charge of making diplomatic connections between nations in order to leverage their resources, whether using bureaucratic measures or otherwise.
Just clarifying. Theoretically, she's supposed to be from Mario. She's actually working on behalf of the Stereoses.
She is from Stereos.
I thought she was working on behalf of Mario.
That's her front.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was checking. Yeah,
yes, sorry. But in reality, she is from Stereos and working on
that was what we were saying. Okay,
yes,
go on.
okay,
Sorry.
No.
I was trying to remember if I remembered the Mario bit correctly.
Yes, no, you did.
Right.
For reasons that are not required for this job for you to know, the rectory is supporting Krishnan's efforts. And we are she has worked with us and is using our assassins to silence those that would that are attempting to expose her. Haran happened to be on that list.
Huh.
Director,
So what is it you want me to do?
we have a group of assassins that is taking care of Haran's vocal supporters. Unfortunately, you happen to be in the right place or the wrong place at the wrong time and came across the after effects of that. Thankfully, the assassin did not you did not come in contact with said assassin and end up offed out of a misunderstanding that thankfully was set up a couple days in advance. But we need someone with good training and good skills to be a part of this team. Sorry, I just I'm really sorry. I did not mean to break character. That'll explain in a second. Basically, I saw Noah's feed, and for some reason I thought it was mine, and there's somebody behind Noah, and I'm like, who the hell's behind me? Anyway, so the Rectory wants you to prove once again your loyalty and your ability to properly function as one of our agents, and we want you to continue working this out. We want you to take over the assassin's role and complete this list.
So I have, out of character,
Mhm.
Spies and assassins are different jobs.
Okay. Yes.
Those are very clearly different jobs.
Mhm.
One would generally not give a spy assassination jobs.
Mhm.
You would give an assassin an assassination job. They are separate undertakings.
Mhm. Okay. Good to know.
So this is something that would clearly be outside my job purview.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna then. That's an oversight on my part. Sorry about that. I had the probably misunderstanding that you had a bit of cross training.
No.
But
Those are generally pulled from separate pools of people.
okay. I understand that this is slightly outside of your purview, but there may be. We will, at the very least, if you feel that you need the stepping stone, you have the skills. We would hope that you should be able to take care of this using whatever prowess you can. But if need be, we can have an assassin at your disposal, and you can try and find the best ways to infiltrate these groups and continue to feed us information while hopefully in a appropriate manner ticking people off the list.
If you give an assassin the job of actually dispatching them, I am certainly within my job description to go find information, people, and ways in and pass it along. Actually slaughtering people is not within the job that you have trained me for.
Understandable. However, unless you have a way of helping with explaining all of this away to the party, I would suggest that you do your best to keep them at bay. However,
Yes. I suspect that the best way to do that will simply be to take up the offer of the Talebs and work to find out what terrible, terrible things are being happened to me, blackmail them. Gets their skills in on it without them even knowing they're helping.
you've been with them for some time. Do you think that they would be able to help also find information or possibly help dispatch different members of this group?
They're unlikely to kill. They're a remarkably peace-loving group. However, I may be able to, again, if I can frame it to them as taking the job on the Talebs for our own safety, that's an easy way to get them to help work on finding the people who would be spreading the information, because that's what the Tlebs want us to do. That I should be able to try and get them to agree to. But I doubt they will be interested in killing people, especially not in assassination styles.
Interesting. They seem to have. They seem to be more of a burden to you than an asset. I certainly hope that you do not grow too attached.
Attached? What do you think I am, an amateur?
Well, your current attachment to them is somewhat amateur-like, especially if
They're useful.
In what way?
Well, among other things, they're provide enough martial prowess in other skills to enhance their repertoire, and they also appear to have undergone the same memory loss that I have. I suspect that finding out what exactly happened there will be significantly more doable with their assistance than alone, and I would very much like to know what has happened to my memory, as I am a bit concerned what may have occurred without me knowing.
Very well. You're in charge of explaining this away.
I can do that.
You understand that this is a contract, once again.
Sorry, out of game, a contract?
This is a contract. This is a contracted job.
This is a job. You're giving me a job, basically.
It is a bound job. You know the rules. Any sort of attempt to break out of it or to give too much information or try and find a way to escape from the rectory will end in your extradition to Stereos and likely execution, the usual.
I have no reason to escape from the rectory. I like my job.
Good. That's what we like to hear.
I'll do what I can. Who's the assassin I'm giving the information to?
That's me.
How do I contact them?
You can use the paper as usual, but
I have a limited amount of that. If there's a personal way to get into contact, that would also be helpful.
That's fine. Let me. I have a
If
name.
you need a minute, just send it to me on my phone.
I might need a minute.
Yeah, go for that. You give me information, you tell me who I'm supposed to be talking to. Yeah.
Also, and I do apologize. I apologize that this arc got a little bit out of hand. The assassin thing was actually a big deal.
Yeah,
It's gonna change something.
Yeah, that's not generally the job of someone who is specifically a spy. Spies are out to get information.
Right. No, you're
not slaughter people.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I'm mixing your role as
yes,
as Casita.
Casita
is way too much.
That was a very specific thing with Ven, actually, is that she's not an assassin. Right. So we're assuming you gave me information. Is there anything else he's saying? I feel like everybody else has been waiting a long time.
Yes. You'll need to. I would suggest that you try and stay in the area. I will be your main contact. My name is Jarell.
Well,
Jorel.
All right.
Exactly like Jarell. I'll give you he'll give you the assassin information. You'll need to make contact with them hopefully in the next 24 hours. I imagine that they will be on a certain schedule and will not want to make a move immediately, especially because this has garnered so much attention very quickly. But
you said they have a list of names.
We have a it's a short list. We would like to be able to find out
more.
If there are others, yes.
Okay. Do what I can.
Good. And my meal is coming, so I will take my leave.
Excellent.
Good.
Be in contact soon.
He stands up and goes back and meets the barmaid as as she's coming to him and mentions and says something and then heads up the stairs, presumably to a room.
I'm going to go up the stairs and bring my friends their drinks.
Hello.
Hi.
All right, let's run back.
Hang on. I'm
Is
with
her-
Ethan.
is her back?
Ow.
Okay.
I'm back.
Oh, I'm still muted.
I will be listening. My computer cord fell.
Okay.
Ow.
I think
Oh.
Ethan's up in
Ethan,
this.
remind me never to
Ethan
sit
is
like
very
that in my
absorbed.
chair again.
Darn it.
Oh, Ethan, you have returned. All right, excellent. So you guys hear a knock on the door, and Ven pushes the door back open and is carrying
Your drinks,
two.
Francis, Felix. Here's your drinks, guys. I had mine downstairs.
Thank you.
All right. Somebody wanted to ask Clover questions.
That was me. I just wanted to ask her if she had any ideas, because I know that she escaped from town. That she and the boys often had to leave town in a hurry.
Well, we can either. It depends on how we want to do things. I mean, the city doesn't seem to be too busy tonight, so it'd be harder to slip out. But again, we are on the roof, and then said that we have. You said how long would it be between? Then you were up on the roof. Then I'm sorry. Then did you tell people like what you observed, or did you not volunteer the information?
I mean, I didn't really get a chance. I was planning on volunteering that information when we actually went into having our discussion of what we were doing.
Okay. Then Clover says, well, we're close to the roof. We could always go over the wall, like we'd originally planned. But we're gonna have to come up with some sort of story just in case, or either a diversion or a reason that we're climbing over the wall, just in case anything goes pear-shaped, or we're gonna be fighting our way out of this. Really would prefer not to do that. Okay, hon, I see you.
Sorry.
Yes.
Did you check my text?
Because
Because those actually matter. That's why I messaged you about it a second time.
Yeah, sorry.
I thought that we were just staying here, like everything was good, and we were cooperating with people.
It's just not
So
tell me anything.
I think we should stay. I think we're in more danger if we try to skip town
I think
And if
we
we
look more
just-
suspicious that way.
than if we just cooperate with the Televs.
I mean, we haven't actually done anything wrong.
We haven't,
No, you're.
but that was a pretty obvious bribe and threat.
But here's the thing.
Don't want to end up like Haran did.
Well, simple. If the Televs offer us anything to eat, we don't. We get everything.
Okay, and I will
prepare
always
everything
stand Middle
ourselves.
of the group, so any arrows and darts hit you first.
I would put Then up front. I mean, he is the most dodgy roundy, isn't he?
I'm sorry, what now?
No, I'm sorry. If I remember, he's the most impressive physical specimen among us, is he not?
I have a
yes,
strength
he's got
of
such
7 and a
muscles.
dexterity of 16. I'm pretty sure my sister beats me on both of those.
Yes.
Oh, wait, I thought he was the highest con HP.
I do have the highest HP.
Mine has the highest HP.
Okay.
And the highest AC.
I have
What's your
negative.
AC?
17?
Oh, so's mine.
Oh, really? Okay, so we tie.
I'm bad at everything, so.
Except talking to people. And there you are, our savior.
Squishy
thing
men
I'm
for
good at.
squishy times.
So is that what we are deciding? We are going to stay.
Sounds like it.
Personally, I believe it would be far less work if we got out of town right now.
I think it would have bad
Far
consequences down
less
the road.
work or like safer? I was going for better
it's-
all around.
I think it's safer if we stay and we just.
Yeah, I would rather more work and safer than
Did
less work and more dying.
Well, I think it would be less work, and it would be also safer to leave the city
Well,
because we would have about a 5 to 10 minute window of no one able to see us in the dark of night to climb down from the top of the wall and disappear into the wilderness.
so
That
well,
being
This is just
said,
one city.
if we do that, we look suspicious as hell, and I do not put it past the Talebs to send people out to kill us.
the Televs will send people to kill us whether we stay or go.
threatened us?
The Talebs said they would be very happy if we would help them with the investigation of who is blackmailing them, and suggested that trying to skip town or working against them would have very unfortunate side effects.
Well,
And I don't want to sound like a coward, but also I think their resources are more vast than we can hope to match at this point. We're kind of not the toughest things out there. We run away from crabs.
But
then,
we took on a werejackal.
And we did
talked to it.
successfully run away from those crabs.
the power of the free market.
I mean,
defeated
I've
monsters.
talked things to sleep, so I think I'm fine. She says with all 9 of her hit points.
She's our
Feminine.
10.
Feminine man. Alright, so let's assuming we escape the city, and assuming the Televs do not get to us before we leave this city, where would we be going? Like where would we want to go?
With no food and no more resources than when we came.
You know
Yeah.
where we can get? There are 2 places we can go that I can think of right off top of my head. One, we can go back to the crabs.
Mystery City, anybody?
There's other places to hide in there. Yeah, no, the Mystery City's somewhere out in the desert. I don't think we got food enough to get out there. But like, what if we kill one of those crabs? We can make salted crab, or I don't know, or we can go back to
You are
What,
that
a
Crabs
crab critter?
royally kicked our ass last time.
Yeah, we can
You
hide
are
somewhere
correct.
else though. And
I will make it to the Mystery City fine.
oh well, aren't we special? And actually, you're very
Speaking
special,
of
Felix.
food, I'm
Don't
kind of
change.
hungry.
Ooh, yeah. Who wants
Sorry, I
food?
should have thought to bring food instead of just drinks.
And what about that cabin where we met that sword?
I'm sorry. Why do we want to go back to the sword that got 3 of you at each other's throats and then threatening to blow his brains out?
Yeah, but
that
the
made
guys
me
who live there are
uncomfortable.
dead.
I'd rather go with Mystery City. Honestly, I'd like to get to the Mystery City anyway. I've read so much interesting things about it.
I want to get to the Mystery City too, but I think that's Andrew's purview, and I don't think that's going to happen while Gabrielle is DMing.
I know.
Wait, which
Azalea
one?
was
Sorry.
just saying it.
the
Wait, which one do you think would not happen?
city out in the middle of the desert. The one that Andrew was strongly hinting about when we were traveling here.
I mean, we might end up with a random switchover.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you guys, like, and I want to impress on it, that is completely up to you guys. Like, also out of character. Like,
I think we're going to be in a better position to do anything if we stay and prove our loyalty to the Telebs.
Yeah,
We'll
as
have
much as I
more
think
resources and support, and we won't have to worry about the threat of angry, powerful people trying to get us killed.
Yes, but I think it's safer to outrun those trying to kill us than it is to try to outmatch them.
I
in
usually
a
go
city
with
that they're-
outmatch.
they're-
I've
they're
never
used to.
outrun anyone.
I'm actually kind of with Fen on this one.
I think we have the resources to escape. We took plenty of gold from that widow. We can get out of town.
Yeah, and what are we going to buy with gold in the middle of nowhere in the desert?
Crabs.
Are you going to eat the gold?
No, it's not. We don't have to necessarily. we can get provisions here. We could even
We don't even have to leave the tavern to get food and drink.
right.
Yeah.
We could possibly even hire another group of 6 people to walk in another direction, so there's more than one set of tracks.
Mm.
And honestly, if we're just trying to get out of Jalbar, then the distance, if we go on land, is quite long till we're out of danger. But if we go straight north, we get to the sea and not too much distance. And once we're on the sea, it's not really that much distance, much farther than we've already come from the village where we all found ourselves
And
to Asterios.
he's not
So a
wrong.
few days of trip and we could be out of the country.
He's not wrong. And once we're on the ocean, we can get to my country. I still have some influence there. Not a
We have
lot.
plenty of money to buy passage on a ship.
Your country, where the woman who the Televs is sleeping with happens to be from.
Yes, but also the country where my daddy has land and power and a little bit of money.
Do you feel like what? I mean, well, the person that lives, girlfriend is sleeping with is from. They don't know about us. I mean,
Unless the Televs say, hey guys, these people are going to try and might be trying to blackmail about our thing. If they happen to, say, pop up in Mariel because they're kind of distinctive looking, maybe get them killed.
that's true.
Is this like the capital city?
No.
No, it's not so.
I'm forgetting what the name of it is. It starts with a K. But no, this
cap-
is not the capital. This is the oldest. This is like this is, I believe it's the oldest city. We decided it's the oldest city in Jalbar because it was the one first built on the canal. This is where like the canal like originates. But I'm blanking on the name of the capital city. Give me like 1 second.
Yeah, no, it's not the capital, but this is one of the 3 worship centers. So that's
Right.
why it's a major city.
Blanking on Gabrielle's character's name.
Amari.
Maury.
Amari, you say you are a princess. Does your nation have any connections in this city? Merchants, ambassadors, people you could contact to help us out of this situation?
Bless you.
Excuse you.
Bless you.
Not really. I mean, I'm kind of the highest, other than like my father. I'm kind of the highest authority, and we're pretty like, reclusive. We don't really have that many dealings with Jabba like at all. We have one ambassador. We at one point had an ambassador, but because we do very little. We don't really trade with Jabba at all. We trade at times across the ocean with Mariel, but we're a very self-contained sort of nation. So I don't know how much influence I would actually have.
But limited interaction with the country we're running away from would be useful.
It could be. It could also be enough. I mean, most countries think that we're barbarians and either think that we're uncultured barbarians or they think that we're warmonger barbarians and are terrified of us. So this is turning into a German accent, sorry. And are scared of us, so it could possibly work to our advantage. I don't know.
What about our elven friends? Is there any safety among the elves?
The elves don't tend to accept outsiders too readily.
No, they don't.
I do have some influence with more powerful people in the elven nation, but not likely enough to have them hide us at the risk of war.
Okay. Also, Ethan, you're lagging kind of weird, so that like the last 2 things
Yeah.
you said were like this was your voice with no movement of your mouth at all.
Okay, so other people are also seeing that because like I could not figure
Yeah,
out
yeah,
why
it's-
mine was doing that.
It's like
All right, I might disappear for a second.
Okay.
movie.
We can wait for you to come back.
What is the city name? Sorry, that took like a really long time for me to find.
The name of this. The name of the
Capet. I knew it.
Capet. Ah, that's right.
Capet
That's
is
right.
the
That's right.
capital
That's right.
city.
Got that
You
too.
are not crazy far from, but you're far.
So it's more than like a day or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll probably be closer to like 3 or 4 days. Just
Okay, that's
guessing
not
based on-
terrible actually. I mean,
we're not going to do that.
well, I mean, it's still
well,
like
let me figure
100
out.
miles though.
Well, how long did it take you guys to get to Telmarna?
A
week.
A week.
A week? Oh,
We didn't go very far, but it was across wilderness. Like it wasn't on a paved road. This would
And
be
we
on a
kind of
paved
like
road.
meandered a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, well, it's about equal. I'm realizing it's kind of equidistant, so it actually would probably be like 5 to 6 days, sorry. Based on that, looking just between the 2 points, but because it is a paved road, because you're following the canal, it wouldn't be like wandering, and there's like a little town. You can assume, those of you who have been to Jalbar know that there's like a little settlements in between.
Right. And
Where is the capital, guys, compared to like the map? It's not marked on the map that I have.
It's everything. There's like no like town names because we I forget why we didn't, but like if you click on the different comments, it'll pop up. So it's I don't really know how to show you, but like if you're looking at the map, you see like in Western Jalbar,
Mm-hmm.
you see the first point in the west, not the north one. The first point, the really small one.
Okay.
It's the one to the right of that. So if you like click on it, it should pop up. Or if you just scroll through the list of comments and hit Kakapit.
Okay.
Oh wait, sorry. That's entirely wrong. Ignore me. I was looking at Amanus. So yeah, Kakapit is like twice as far. So it would probably take you like closer to 12 days to get to Kakapit because it's on the far side. Sorry, that was entirely my bad.
Horses.
And I have my information backwards. Telmarna is the shipping and trade center. Kakapit is the oldest city in Jalbar and the origin of the canals, and it's also the capital. And it's on the far side.
Okay, so Kakapit is where the pharaoh would be.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're from where you are in Telmarna, it would be probably about 12 days journey to get to Kakapit.
How about?
But again, it's civilized.
How about to Amanus?
To Amanus?
Yeah.
Amanus is about that 5 to 6 day journey.
Oh, okay.
I had the two cities switched.
And what do we know about Amanus?
The dolphins.
It's one of you don't know very much. It's just one of the cities on the canal.
Right. Okay.
You know that it like those Kakapit, Telmarna, and Amanus are the three major cities in Jalbar. There isn't necessarily, it's not really a center for anything. It's kind of like, you know, how you have like Albany versus New York. It's smaller than, like, it's another city.
Or say Rochester.
Or what?
Say Rochester.
Yes. Except that there is a very northern point in Jalbar. So I don't know if you want to call that one Rochester because it's out in the middle of nowhere.
I don't know. Is it cold enough?
No.
If we just take to the wilderness, could we make it to Vitenland?
What?
If we were to just cross it and to just go way out in the wilderness,
Gabrielle, can you check your messages?
Yes.
could we make it to Vitenland, or could we even make it back to our gnome friends?
We don't have any food supplies right now. Again, we have money, but no food. And if we skip town now, I don't think we can eat the money. Somehow I suspect that wouldn't be very well digested. Ye olde understanding of digestion.
I do suspect that it would deeply affect our humors for the negative. Felix, can
That job, man.
no, am I remembering incorrectly that Felix can do like create food and water?
He can create water.
Water, yeah.
Okay, so we can go for like that means we can survive for like a week plus without food.
That seems like a bad
You want me
idea.
to go a week without food?
Well, and the elves can survive longer. Like we can survive on like a third of the amount of food that most people do. So
If we wanted to leave, getting provisions, I think we'd be able to manage, both with the fact that we could purchase some food at the tavern we're living at, and partially also because I'm pretty sure, what's the name of the lichen?
Clover did last
Clover.
time.
Wouldn't necessarily be implicated, so she could stay behind if we all decided, and then purchase food and
Okay,
come.
I agreed to keep Clover with us and safe.
Clover's gonna like.
Buddies.
Clover's gonna raise her hand like, I don't really want to have to stick around here by myself, especially since I have nothing to do. Well, I guess they don't know about me, but
We could
still,
also
change
shave
the numbers, right?
Francis bald and dress him up as Jabari, and then he
Wait.
could stay behind and purchase food and deliver it to us.
With
we
your
went to a city,
shaving
we could
ball?
get- Francis.
I've heard worse ideas.
I really do think that things will be better for us if we just stay and cooperate.
All right.
I'm gonna be honest.
Anybody have a piece of paper?
And can I also mention one other
I
thing?
do.
We still haven't dealt with the fact that people are apparently trying to kill Fenrir.
I assume
When did
these
that
other people
happen?
were always trying to do that.
Yes, well, I realize he is annoying, but sorry, brother dearest.
Sorry, what? I'm still working on fixing my internet.
It's all right.
Nothing important.
All right.
Mir was just being insulted.
All right.
Oh, excellent.
So
Your
here's what we
sister was saying you were annoying and then apologizing.
Are we sure they're trying?
You get a glare.
do.
Are we sure they're trying to kill him so much, or are we just assuming because since they're shady? I mean, it's
No, the
definitely
people on the
possible.
road who attacked us and very specifically were going after theft.
Right, them,
Oh, that's right.
them guys.
Yeah.
I forgot about
The
that.
way I
Listen.
see it, we don't know what's going on with them. We have minimal resources right now. If we skip town now, we look shady as hell, we've gained nothing, and we have potentially made this a bad place to come back to and or have powerful people coming after us.
All right.
Whereas if we stay, we can potentially gain the trust and resources of said powerful people, which might help us, A, in achieving our other goals, like, say, finding out where our memories went, and B, not maybe getting killed by people who are trying to murder my brother.
All right, guys. So there's this radical idea that I've heard of from some crazy people, but I think it might just work. We're gonna take a piece of paper. We're gonna rip it up.
You're going to say we're voting.
And we're
Yeah.
gonna write down our ideas secretly. All right, and then we're gonna see where we stand. We're gonna try and work to some sort of consensus from there. It's called a secret ballot. It might be secret ballot. I'm not entirely sure how it works.
Something I don't
read
know
about
that who invented that.
Can we all agree, though, that nobody seems interested in staying and working against the Tlevs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, who would we work
Dead.
with against the Tulebs anyway?
The dead guy.
Yeah, the dead guy.
I don't want to work with the dead man. I don't do corpses.
I don't exactly want to end up like him, so.
Yeah.
Ravenna,
Yes.
can I speak to you for a moment?
Yes.
Just gonna like step out into the hallway away from earshot of the others. What is with this sudden change of heart? Because you so significantly wanted to leave the town when we walked away from the guardhouse that you were willing to work with me on planning for it. But now you want to stay.
Partly time to think. Partly additional information.
I take it it's information you don't wish to share.
Oh, I'm happy to. Remember my stalker?
Yes.
Yeah. I went to go get drinks and I met my stalker. I decided that since he is a local, it seemed like a decent time to try and pry information out of him. And the Tlevs do not forget. was the consensus I got. And I am really, with the possible knowledge that we might, leaving the guardhouse, it felt like we might have a chance to get away clean if we left now. With the knowledge that they are not terribly interested in taking chances, I'm more willing to metaphorically make a deal with the devil so as to not have to risk going up against them because they have power, influence, and money, and we don't.
I have an
Also, I'm a
idea.
little concerned about the fact that I have a stalker who can find me.
I have an idea. It's not one that the others would readily agree with, but I think you might.
Let's hear it.
You are talented at getting in and out of places quietly,
Relatively.
and ever since our youth, you've been talented in strategy.
Yes.
I say we kill the Celebs.
I am not an assassin, Benmir.
Maybe not. But when your life is on the line, couldn't you make an exception?
I think that will land us in even hotter water than we are in right now.
Why? If we do it successfully, they won't know who killed them.
If we do it successfully, we are the people who the Talevs asked to work for, and then they mysteriously died. We are sure to come under questioning. And ignoring the fact that I don't like to kill people, I would sooner skip town than I would try to commit a murder. For God's sakes, we've been accused of murder twice while we've been in this town. The last thing I think we need is to actually be murderers. At the moment, we have plausible deniability because we have not, in fact, killed anybody.
Don't you
Don't I what?
Don't you think that if we agree to work for them, we accept an offer of payment, some form, something similar? If we agree to work for them in that capacity and then they die, it would seem strange for us to have been the ones to kill them if we were going to be getting paid by them.
Possibly true, but that still ignores the fact that, one, I don't want to kill people, and two, I'm not sure how you're going to convince the rest of the group, especially Azalea, to kill people.
I wasn't saying we would tell the rest of the group.
Then
You and I are quite stealthy.
we are, but I don't want to be a murderer, then.
I already am one. It doesn't change you much.
Yes, and I've been on the other end of that. I've been the one tossed in the cell being beaten. I can't. I'm not sure I can do something like that to another person.
I would like to roll sense motive.
Shoot.
No, see, this is where you're elves. You go along the lines of, it's okay, they don't live long anyway.
Oh my gosh.
5.
Communism.
Your sister does not appear to want to kill anybody.
Glad to hear it.
Excellent. Okay.
Or, actually, I don't know. Well, actually, sorry, that's actually, would that just be you can't read the person?
With a 5, yeah.
I guess you can't read me.
I mean, unless like if you're being like if you honestly don't want to,
Ben honestly doesn't want to kill the Talevs.
then yeah, then he should be able to.
And then I
read
was
the
like,
figure.
wait, he definitely failed that check.
But I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing: are you viewing it?
But you're not trying to be shady, so I would say that
Right.
he can. I would say that he can tell you don't want to kill the Talebs, and nothing more than that.
I would say 5 is you're taking everything at absolute surface value. Like, like if
Ben honestly does not want to murder these people.
Okay. Shall we return to the others?
We can. I'm a little surprised then that you're so willing to just straight up kill people.
murder.
I am willing to do anything that I believe will protect my life and the lives of those important.
Who's important?
Well,
Uh,
you are my sister, and our traveling companions, while I haven't known them very long, they do prove to be useful.
That they
I
do.
don't know that I'm necessarily friends with them, but I don't want them to die.
I would agree, but I honestly think that working with the Talevs is a better way to keep us all safe, rather than trying to kill people.
The Talevs strike me as the kind of people that would double-cross us. Convince us to work for them, get their use out of us, and then kill us anyway.
Yes, but in that case, and if that is the case, then we're exactly where we are now. But we
at
may have
much
more
less of an
information about their
advantage.
abilities and their forces.
I already understand where you are. Let's return to the others.
Yeah.
all right. So are we? So are we voting on this?
I'm gonna pull a piece of parchment out of my bag. I'm gonna tear it up into, let's see, seven of us, I think, including Clover.
Yes.
I'm gonna tear it up into 7 pieces, and I'm going to say, if we're leaving town, mark this with a dot. Otherwise, leave it blank.
Why bother doing a secret ballot?
I feel like we already all stated our opinions fairly evidently.
Maybe, but I would like documentation.
Okay.
We could all just go around in a circle and say it, and that way not use up parchment.
I'm still going to be writing it down.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay? Then we shall start with you, Azalea. You seem the most level-headed of
I
us.
mean, I don't think we didn't do anything wrong, so I feel like leaving just makes us seem more suspicious.
Okay.
So my vote is for staying.
I'm gonna throw it out there. 2 things in point of fact. Remember that you guys have basically been. Well, you do have eyes on you, but like at least in the eyes of the guards, you guys are not guilty. They want your help, and also as Amari, I'm gonna not vote because I'm the DM, and I technically can't. So I'm either not gonna vote or I'll I'll roll a die or something. I'll figure something out. But
So are Clover and Amari both abstaining?
I say we
Clover,
should let Andrew vote for Clover,
But then
because
he's
he
not here right
understands the
now.
character.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that when he gets back. Felix, your vote.
Leaving has always worked well for me. Staying never has, so I think we should go.
You think we should leave?
Yes, I think we should flee.
Savannah?
I think we gain nothing from staying, and we potentially words. I think we gain nothing from leaving, and risk something, and we potentially gain a lot from staying. I say stay.
I believe we should leave.
Ooh, we got a tie vote for Francis and Clover.
Wait, what? So, Sen, you said leave?
I said leave.
Okay.
This is currently women versus men. Let's see what Francis and Clover say.
All right.
So
So
what happens if it stays Ruben Mrs. Men and we're tied?
Then
What
we
is
then
this,
have
then
sexist
I will
voting?
roll the die. Then I'll roll a die as a tiebreaker. According to Andrew's text, Francis is voting to leave.
Okay, and
And
I don't
Clover.
know about Clover yet. Clover's pending. Amari's just gonna kind of sit back and stroke Stuko's ears.
Stroke her beard.
Stuco will be the deciding vote.
What? Clover is also voting leave.
We have 3 votes for leaving,
4 votes.
4
for
votes for leaving, and 2 to stay.
Well, that means that my vote doesn't matter anyway. But
Nice out there, Gabrielle.
y'all voted first. If it had been a 3-3, then I was gonna roll a d4 and have you guys pick odd and even for leaving versus staying. Yeah, Clover's gonna step forward. So Clover's gonna step forward and kind of look around the room. I think I'm gonna say go. I don't want to get mixed up in this. As long as they think that, I mean, from what you guys told me, it sounds like they think we're innocent. And everyone seems to be, the rest of the group seems to be leaning towards leave, and I don't want to create a schism. So I'm gonna say let's go. I'm just ad-libbing what he said, so just in case.
Is there any reason why we would need to leave tonight instead of waiting to leave tomorrow?
The Talevs and the guards told us we had only a few hours to give our answer.
Well, in that
And
case,
that was a couple of hours ago.
well, if they're expecting our answer, do we need to sneak out, or could we just tell them no? I mean, they said. I mean, obviously it won't be viewed favorably, but they definitely seem to be not happy with the idea of us sneaking out.
I guess that's theoretically a third option. Stay and don't get involved. Take the time to get the supplies we need and decide what they're doing. And then clearly and obviously leave so it doesn't look like we're sneaking.
With that given as a third option, I think it might be a good idea to tell them we're available as advisors but don't want to be involved. That we'll stay in town until their investigation is complete, but we want to stay aloof, given that we could come across. Oh, we could use the card that we could come across as biased. That any results we find would be biased towards proving our own innocence, and therefore
that's a good
we
one.
feel we should not be involved.
That's a really good one, actually.
What are other
I'm willing to
opinions?
do that. I'm willing to say stay, but don't get involved until their investigation is done.
Yes, I think, however, we should have a plan for escape if things go wrong.
Things go terribly wrong.
A place where we will meet, a plan for where we will head, and potentially have the resources stored up and hidden somewhere for us to be able to flee at a moment's notice.
Sounds logical.
I think a valid plan for leaving would be over the wall. We have enough rope to do it. We have ample time between patrols to do it. And we have access to the top of the wall by a ladder within our very hotel.
Okay.
I think
this
our
plan sounds
primary
better.
plan for departure should be over the wall. If, however, we get separated and need a place to meet, like you say, Felix, I say that cabin would be a good landmark that we all know the location of.
If it's outside the city, the cabin, or if it's inside the city?
The
Maybe
sleeping
the-
viper.
Yeah, the sleeping viper.
Although it doesn't have
They've got sheep drinks.
Everybody and everything from all the subplots converges in the sleeping viper simultaneously.
they found you. Shiz.
Including the evil sword.
Just
And
like
the
it just
evil sword has brought legs and walked to the sleeping viper in order to take over Thunmere again.
it just
Or Marty,
zings
or
through the
Azalea.
window and hits the bar. Brrr. Oh baby.
Can I have a drink?
I am older than 21.
Or 12. Whichever one matters more.
I love the sword's accent. It's pretty great.
Yeah, Andrew, what's the sword's accent?
Oh baby.
The official accent of the evil sword.
See, no, you have to lean back, get the chest forward, cross your eyes, and then the accent just happens.
Okay, has anyone watched The Witcher?
Yes.
Or heard clips?
Yes.
Has anyone else noticed? I just had this revelation that Grog's cursed sword and The Witcher have the same voice. Think about it.
Not wrong.
You're right.
I don't
I mean,
like it.
question. The Netflix series or the games?
The Netflix one.
Okay, that I'll agree with.
I've never played
Yeah,
the game, so I have no idea.
Because
games are
Geralt in the
fabulous.
games has much less of a gravelly voice.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about it because, like, you know how like he always does that, like, so freaking annoying, like thing, like when he's like humming to himself. Like it sounds exactly the same as like the sword sighing when it gets like pissed off.
Yeah.
Craven Edge's grumpy sigh is the same thing as Henry Cavill's Witcher.
Oh, don't be peanut head.
Gabrielle,
Yes.
do we need to have a chat
About
about the message you just sent me?
chat with Andrew about that. That wasn't my decision.
God,
I
what
threw
message
that-
did she just send you?
I'm uncomfortable.
It doesn't matter.
Oh God.
None of you would have noticed, but like
What did I miss?
right before Clover voted, her gaze lingered on Thenmere for a little longer. I only put that out there so that people don't get the sense that yes, I wanted to put
Okay.
that out there so that people don't feel like Clover voted towards leaving for any out of any discussion between Andrew and I. That was based on character.
Smitten!
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I looked away for 4 seconds, and I am so confused. My students came in my
Clover
room
clearly
because
has
they
a
had
bit of a
foot
thing
masks.
for Then.
Because then what?
They're
You
doing
can-
foot masks, and they wanted to show me.
What is a foot mask?
It's
A
like
mask you
fake
put on your
mask
foot to
for
keep people from
your foot.
recognizing your feet?
So it's a shoe?
So wait, I'm confused. Wait, Harley, what is it really?
It's a shoe with a face.
It's like,
What else
you know, a face mask, like the thing you spread on your face.
Yeah.
Oh.
The cleansing
That,
mask.
but it's like that, but for your foot, and it came with like these little plastic booties to put on, and they wanted to show me them.
Oh. See,
I
I
don't
was
want to think
thinking
about what's gonna come off on that.
it's that, but it's made. I was thinking it's something you put on your face, but it's made out of feet.
No, it's like a foot
I
mask.
Oh,
totally
God.
believe that. That's a lie.
They just wanted to show
Moving
me.
along. Anyway,
God, a mask made of people's feet.
so
Cool.
I'm picturing little slices of cucumbers on your
I am
turnip.
going to take some more of my I am going to take some more
Not
of
quite, but
my parchment. I am going to start drafting our response to the guards to be sent back.
Mhm.
And what I'm going to say is, with greatest respect, we understand that, or not with greatest respect. Yeah. So what I say is, come on, brain, slow down. With greatest respect, we have chosen to stay within the city during the course of the investigation, but due to the chance that any results or evidence we find would be biased towards proving our innocence, we believe it is not wise for us to be directly involved in the investigation.
Okay.
Clever.
All right.
Pass it around to the rest of the people in the group, see if they have anything to add, etc.
Should we all sign it?
Yeah.
Can
Except
I feel like that's a
Clover.
good idea.
Or should we just make up a group name and sign with the group name?
We should make it sound official.
That would be the best option.
DM appreciates this idea because I'm tired of calling you guys all them.
Should we sign it as the Fabulous Them?
No. Something along the lines of like amnesia, like the amnesiacs.
Yeah, I was thinking of something along the same lines.
Some fun with memory.
The
The Forgotten.
Forgetters.
Oh, forgot. Yeah, didn't we say,
God.
didn't we say earlier that we were going to be forgotten?
Forgotten.
I feel like we did pick that at one point.
That yeah, that's what it was.
But
We
we
said
aren't
we
the
wanted to be like
Forgotten.
We definitely
We're the
did.
Forgetters.
Forgetter ones?
The Forgetters.
I'm on board with naming our group the Forgotten Ones.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
It's edgy enough to be scary.
Exactly.
Yes, for a group who runs away from crabs. We could be the crab flayers, guys.
It either
Also
sounds-
partially because I have a race that I've created that I've already called the Forgotten Ones, so
Okay.
I'm just partial to that name. But
I like that. Also, I accidentally wrote it down like as I was typing it in my name as my notes as the Forgotten Them.
Clover and the Stagehands. A suggestion from the audience.
I'm sorry, you completely broke up for me. What did you say there?
Sorry, the suggestion from the audience is Clover and the Stagehands.
Is this Kira audience or somebody
This
else?
was
audience?
No,
Scott.
what did Gabrielle say?
Hi, Scott. I was like typing down like, oh, they named themselves the Forgotten, and I accidentally wrote down the Forgotten Them.
Clover in the stage.
That's a good cover name, though, at some point. Somebody write that. I'm writing that down. If we ever need to use
I
it.
feel like that's like
The
kind of
great Clover
degrading
and her
to.
stagehands. We gotta all learn to do those like bugles so we can make like bugle calls whenever she walks on stage.
Kazoos. A kazoo.
A la Shrek 2.
Yeah,
a kazoo
very
quartet.
very off-key kazoos.
Okay. All right. So. All right. So you guys sign the letter. I don't know if that's like a I thought of something face or a something
I
happened
burped.
face. Oh, okay. So you guys pass the letter around and sign it. Is one of you delivering it, or are you going to give it to someone to give to somebody else, or
That's like communication.
like what do you guys want to do?
I figured we would give it to one of the guards that was stationed outside.
Outside
that
the
would make
wall,
sense.
or outside the
No,
building?
outside the inn.
Okay. I don't. That was a dumb question. I apologize. Okay. All right. So, are all of you going down, or is just one of you going down, just for my reference, so I don't say a person?
I think it should be 2 going down at minimum.
I think that would make sense.
Concur.
Okay.
Just so nobody,
Gets alone.
right.
Well, given that I'm responsible largely for the decision that was made because I'm stubborn, and that Felix is largely the face of our group, I think it should be the 2 of us that go down.
Go for it.
Let's go.
Even the ladies and Frank is trying to gossip.
Okay.
Well,
So
now.
it's then.
The
Oh my
ladies and
God,
Francis.
did you see his hair?
Francis and the Ladies, that's the group name now.
As soon as Fenrir leaves the room, you should all be like, Clover.
Nobody noticed
Yeah,
that except for
Clover.
Fenrir.
What's all this then?
We need to make that very clear. Fenrir's the only one who noticed.
Really, no one's passive perception was high enough.
It was not like a staring at her. It was just like a.
Apparently, I'm now a her.
Azalea has like 7 younger sisters, so if that would make her senses for noticing these things higher.
Make a perception check, you people. You weren't paying attention. Make a perception check with disadvantage.
Me too.
You would
Me
have
too.
no reason to be paying attention to who she's looking at.
Me too.
If you're that
Did you
nosy.
do it?
I mean, except for
I'm
the fact that
very
she
nosy.
Except the fact that she's voting. We're probably all staring at it when it comes to her turn to vote.
I
Yeah,
got a
right.
14. 14 with disadvantage.
Fine.
I also have a 14 on the disadvantage.
As do I.
roll. It would have been 17 if it wasn't.
Wait, you all got 14?
Yeah.
Yup.
Yes.
Okay, well then I'm keeping the disadvantage because that's creepy as hell, but okay, fine. I suppose, like, a couple of you notice.
So we can all razz Clover about it.
I don't know that you...
So
like,
Clover.
if you notice, and it's, like, kind of one of those, like, I would say...
You're not so secret crush on Fenmir.
that
Tell us
like,
about
you
it.
don't suddenly get the sense, oh my gosh, she likes that, but, like, Azalea, I would say, like, you kind
It's
of get
not
the
like
sense
we've been
that,
having
oh,
that since Clover met us.
Yeah.
That's true, though. Okay, fine. You can do with the information as you notice it, you do with the information as you will. Let's put it that way.
Smitten.
Oh, God. I'm not playing Clipboard while you harass her.
Alright, let's deliver this letter.
All right, so Felix. Actually, Felix, you didn't notice. Felix was too blind to see it.
Yeah.
Blind to see
Felix,
it.
as long as you're
Our
30 feet away at the
Room
time.
is greater than 30 feet. Frost.
No, I'm joking. All right, so you two head downstairs. It's you guys notice that it is very crowded down in the tavern in the common room. There's a lot of people crowded in here getting food and drinks, and you're noticing that some of the crowd is starting to tip a little bit more towards like the tipsy/drunk side. But you managed to kind of push through the area and take a step outside, and there is a guard kind of leaning against the exterior of the inn. He honestly like doesn't really snap to attention once you guys come in view, and you get the sense that because there's been such a steady stream of people that he's kind of like, okay, on board now. But when you approach him, he kind of pushes himself off the wall. Can I help you?
Yeah, we are delivering this formal response, so that you can take it to your superiors, and as a response to the requests made of us earlier.
He kind of looks at you, and he's a regular guard. You get the sense that he probably doesn't know what specific request you're talking about.
I thought that this was someone that was like specifically connected to this. Whoops.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Okay, I'm gonna be like.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I'm forgetting that you guys didn't have somebody posted there continuously. That is correct. So yeah, he takes it. Yes, thank you. This will be delivered to the lieutenant.
No.
He nods and walks away from the building. If you guys are staying outside, you do notice that a couple minutes later, another guard walks up to the building and replaces him.
Cool.
All right.
We have a course of action.
All right, so you guys head back upstairs. I'm assuming you head back upstairs. I'm sorry.
Are we free to roam around the city?
No one has given you any directions, but the guard there is now another guard that came shortly after the other one left.
I'm gonna if he's directly connected to like keeping an eye on us, I'd like to ask him like, are we free to go about the city?
It would be preferable and advisable if you stayed put until the lieutenant has received your communication. I'm sure he will wish to speak with you further.
Okay. I guess let's just go inside then.
All right, so you guys head back up to the room.
I don't go back upstairs. I first go.
I'm gonna stick with Ted here. I kind of like hanging out with him, so Felix is gonna stick with him.
Well, so I'm gonna be going up to the room very shortly. I want to go to the bar
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask the barkeep for a couple of shots of his strongest liquor.
Okay.
And dinner, because Azalea was asking for dinner earlier.
I'm gonna
She
let
needs her
Felix
first
take
dinner
care of
and her
ordering
second
food.
dinner.
Exactly.
What about second breakfast?
11
So I'm basically asking the barkeep for a couple shots of liquid courage, sort of thing.
Okay. He pours you a couple, and takes a couple, and he takes 2 coppers from you, or sorry, let's call it 3 coppers because it's hard liver versus wine. And hands them off to you.
Okay. I don't drink them.
Mhm.
I pour them into my flask.
Okay.
I emptied my flask of its water and poured it into my flask.
I should buy another flask.
Felix is very unimaginative when it comes to food. He's just gonna ask for like 5 loaves of bread and jam.
4 fried chickens and a Coke.
I thought you were gonna pull the Scanlan route and just like go entirely roast chicken and nothing else.
No, 5 loaves of bread and jam. That's what he's gonna
Sweet.
ask for.
Excellent.
And you kind of like, he gives you like a weird look of like.
What kind of jam? Do they have artisanal jam?
They have. He does ask you what type of jam do you want. and he
Generic
offers
berry.
Sorry, artisanal jam is a bit of a
Stop reading
joke in
my
my
mind.
game.
Stop reading my mind. So like he gives you like a sort of fig jam, like a one that he calls like a ground berry jam. You're not really sure like what that, but like wait, you're from Shelbar, right? You've been in Shelbar? No, you've not
No.
been in
I've
Shelbar.
wandered around it for a while, yeah.
You have heard of this like ground berry. It's like they're pretty common out in the wilderness. It's like this one berry that grows on like almost like a tumbleweed type plant. It's weirdly very hardy. They're not great. They're kind of tart.
Felix feels like
What
he's
they say.
richer than he could ever possibly have imagined himself being. So he's gonna get a jar of each.
Okay. They do also offer you like a citrus marmalade.
Oh, and one of those too.
Imported
We got 5
from-
loaves of bread, so we're gonna need a lot of jam.
The thing is like he's not confused at all. Oh. He's like he seems a little less confused once you like start getting multiple things of jam. But when you first ask like just for 5 loaves of bread, he kind of just looks at you like why?
What is this kid doing?
Anything else that I can get for you?
No.
He kind of catches himself, and you see him sparkle a little bit, before, and then just nods to you. Very well. Let us know if you need any sort of butters with it. And kind of snickers to himself and walks away.
Alright.
All right, so you both head back up.
Yep, I'm going to present the group with I brought dinner!
Thanks, kid.
This is not bad.
Thank you. I was really hungry.
Were they out of maybe? Well, I guess Stuko can eat a couple slices of bread if you all don't mind. But maybe I'll let him out and he can find some rats or something.
Oh, I forgot about Stuko.
We could get some
It's okay.
milk.
No,
and
it's not a
bread.
problem.
Todd?
Stuko just needs. Oh, Stuko. I don't know what Todd eats, but Stuko sometimes needs protein. He hasn't had any in a while. Sorry.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Yes. How is the Todd? What is the Todd doing?
Todd! I forgot about Todd!
The
Todd
top.
is curling up on Azalea's lap like he's
I
a
literally
cat,
was gonna say.
even though he's a fox.
Ven wants to try and feed him little bits of bread and jam.
You'll take him.
Todd takes what he can get.
The
Well, I
top.
imagine that Azalea has had Todd at least for a little while, and considering how big her family is, and that she has a lot of younger siblings,
That's true. Wait, how tall are you again?
me,
Yes. Or how tall is Azalea? Sorry.
I think Azalea's like 3 feet.
How long is a fox usually?
Foxes
Half
are
maybe?
not big. Foxes are about the size of
Not
house
large.
cats.
From tail tip to nose tip, they're probably like 2 feet.
So this fox is like about the size of your like. Is almost.
Then
as
he's
big as
got
you.
like his head on her leg. Like
No, that was. Oh, that wasn't.
It would
I just
definitely
thought
be
about that.
feasible for a fox to be in a halfling's lap.
Yeah.
okay,
Schmucks doesn't
But
fall.
it's- so
Or
it's-
small.
he's a small fox
He's a smox.
who as Elliot treats like a cat.
Yes.
I appreciate it. I'm just wondering, like, how big it is. Is it like if I let a Doberman sit on my lap,
Aw.
or a golden, more like a golden retriever? Dobermans are probably bigger than I am. Let's be honest.
How are you?
I'm like barely 5 foot. Like I'm like just over 5 feet. I'm like 5 feet and half an inch, and I weigh like 103 pounds. So there are definitely large dogs that weigh probably more than I do.
We short folk gotta stick together.
Exactly. All right, so you all feast on your bread and jam. Are you guys doing anything in the next
That
like
makes me feel bad.
half hour?
What was that about feeling bad?
Wait,
He feels attacked.
It makes me feel bad
What?
Bread and
the
jam?
short people?
because Gabrielle's
bread and jam or shortness?
no. It was Gabrielle talking about height versus weight.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Why?
Sorry.
Yeah, kind of likewise actually. But
Because
No.
Okay, I have
I'm
had
only
so many
I'm
conversations
only like
about
7
body
inches
image
taller
today.
than you, and I'm more than double your weight.
Listen, I'm like practical. I'm almost underweight, so like, don't even worry about it. Like, I wouldn't
Anyway.
put it because I'm not the proper weight anyway.
Has it gotten to about by now?
It's definitely like it's dark out now. The sun has set.
Okay.
Are you
And
guys like
please-
are you guys doing anything in the next like within the next hour?
Making a lot of jelly sandwiches is what we're doing the next
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah, eating.
Anything like major, or are you guys kind of just like eating?
Eating and hanging out.
I encourage fraternization.
Okay. If not, then after a few moments, after about close to an hour has expired, and there's a knock on the door.
Well, let's open it.
Yeah.
Everybody just goes.
Felix will walk over to the door and open it.
Okay, so you open the door, and there is a guard standing outside who, once the door is opened, kind of stands at attention, and Lieutenant Abad steps into the room.
Felix is gonna,
Good evening.
like stare and be like, "Who's there?"
10
The
out of
lieutenant's just
10.
kind of gonna give him a look of, okay.
He doesn't actually say who's there.
Oh man.
Hello?
our doormat is blind.
Oof.
Our doormat is blind. Our cook lost all his taste buds in the war. Man who takes messages is deaf.
What?
Okay, so he steps
So the
in.
lieutenant steps in and kind of glances around. His eyes kind of fall on Clover. But he looks her up and down. You don't mind if I take a seat to do? He moves and pulls out one of the chairs at like a side. There's a small side table in the corner, and he sits. So,
Wait, how'd they know where we were?
because the guard just took your
We
letter.
told the guards that we were at the hole in the wall.
Also, the guard was standing outside, and he like ran with the letter to the lieutenant. So he's just gonna go back to where he was.
switched rooms.
But I thought you got the room under.
Under an alias.
Oh, you're right.
yeah.
I'm sorry. That is true. Guess who's gonna retcon?
Oh, that means that Felix saying that never happened.
Felix apparently didn't say it to begin with. So,
Oh, what?
Felix said that he didn't say who's there.
No, I said that. I
You
didn't. I
did?
didn't say. Yeah.
I thought you said that you didn't say it.
No. I never said. I never said I didn't say it.
I
But
don't
I mean,
Here's
this-
the perfect retcon.
it
Here is
matter.
the perfect retcon. You ready for this?
Oh gosh.
We got the room across the hall. Felix heard the knocking and thought it was on our room, and because he's acting a blind kid, he just had to go with the whole like, "Who's there?" The lieutenant turned around and saw him and went, "Oh, they're in that room."
Oh, okay, okay,
There
that
we
works.
go.
That works. That
Perfect.
works.
We'll just do that as opposed to
That's
some,
beautiful, Ethan.
there's someone here to see you running up and down the stairs. The lieutenant like already like you notice that the guard kind of like runs behind him, and kind of looks very embarrassed that he was paying attention at the wrong door. So he sits down. So I received your communication. I understand that you have decided not to participate in the investigation.
Yes.
We feel it would be in poor taste from a judicial perspective for people directly involved in the investigation and at question in the investigation to be instrumental in finding information, evidence, etc., that could potentially be misconstrued to prove our innocence. We have no reason to be afraid that you will find us guilty because we are truly innocent. But for the image of the court system and
Nice.
Is Ethan
for
breaking up
how
for everybody else?
Yeah, he's breaking up on my end too.
may be misconstrued. Oh, frick.
Sorry. I got the gist. Obviously, if we
About
were
the
concerned
double-
about conflict of interest or something, we would not have approached you as to be part of the investigation. I thought we made it clear that your skills would be useful. And obviously, if we're truly concerned that you are involved, having you close to us makes it easier for us to monitor you. However, and you'll forgive me for laughing, but for one who is so concerned about the image of our judicial system in our country, I'm surprised that you are unwilling to help us, but to each his own. You have made a decision that I understand benefits you. If you are sure that this is your final decision, then we can part ways. I will say that we cannot, that in that case, you will not receive any sort of protections from the Talebs or from us. We cannot protect you as you are not in our employ. So you are on your own. Whatever consequences may come from that is on you, is for you to bear.
Do you
If I
anticipate
might
something
clarify,
specific?
sir.
Hold that thought, Stenmir. Harley, what'd you say?
I said, do you anticipate something specific?
Not necessarily.
Because it sounded a little bit like you had something in mind. And if you do, it would be lovely if you could give us a heads up.
Mrs. Celebs are as untrustworthy as you seem to believe. You are not under our protection. They are able to involve themselves however they see. I do not know how well they will receive you disappearing, particularly.
I'm
But-
sorry, we never said we were disappearing. We agreed in the letter to stay in the city until your investigation has been concluded.
Yeah.
So we
Is
did.
that
So
what
we
you
did.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah,
we said
we
in the letter.
did. That we were staying in the city until the investigation was concluded, but because we were directly involved and were one of the parties potentially at question, we didn't want to be involved in finding evidence.
Gotcha.
And that's why I said, if I might clarify, because I wanted to say, if I might clarify, I don't want you to think completely standing off. Once you have reason to believe, should fully prove our innocence, we are more than willing to work with you on apprehending or finding those truly responsible. But for right now, while we are in question, we don't want to be involved in finding evidence that might come to a conflict of interest.
So say we all.
This is understood. It is unlikely that we will continue to view you as suspicious. We will conclude that we will do what we can to continue to assuage your fears, but from what you have told us, your information seems clear, and we have no reason to believe that you have any sort of further dealings. However, because again, people talk and people have eyes, I cannot say that the people will may not begin to make their own suspicions of whether or not you are involved, or what have you. So we cannot protect you from their suspicions outside any more than we can protect any other citizen. Obviously, we will stop any sort of violence, but whatever sort of public perceptions are put forward, those are for you to deal. Those are on you to deal with.
I'm curious how the public would get wind of us being there in the first place.
As I said, people have eyes and ears. I don't know who saw you. If no one saw you, then you have nothing to worry about.
I will note that for me personally, the public opinion is precisely why I am choosing to abstain from this portion of the investigation. I don't want the people to begin to question the guards of the city, etc. If they were to find out that we were involved in the incident and were now investigating it.
Again, very generous of you to care so deeply about us, but
What can we say? We're good people.
so you said.
We don't mind being blamed for things we did, but things we didn't do. It's not us.
Yeah.
Not our style.
So, do I understand correctly that you plan to become involved in the investigation once it has been shown that you are not, that you have no, that you had no
Guilt.
involvement with them? Yes, thank you.
Anytime.
Once you have proved that we're innocent, basically, was what you were trying to say, right?
Yes, or at least once we are satisfied. I don't know about proving anything unless I look into all of your backgrounds. You have no alibi, technically.
Well, technically our alibi is we were there when he died.
Yeah.
Yes, but if I decided that is suspicious, it makes it seem like you were the ones who killed him.
Oh, come on now, Bob.
I don't believe
how
that,
we planned
obviously.
a bottle that they got months ago? How we know you drink it that day?
This is... Again, I do not believe that you were involved. As I said, your story and your information makes it seem clear that you have no motive, you have no reason, you have given me no reason to believe that you are involved. We simply wanted your participation.
This is true.
So I am asking again, do you intend to be involved? In which case we will probably contact you within the next day. Or are you asking to be released entirely from this investigation at every point?
If we need to be, we may be we would, I guess, reconsider when we've been absolutely proven innocent. But I think all of us would rather any investigations into the politics that this involves seems like it could put us into further danger. And so I think as much as possible we'd like to keep ourselves outside of that. Hence
Outside of the Sorry, go ahead.
Well, if we involve ourselves in this investigation, even once we are proven innocent, then we risk becoming further entangled in whatever politics shadiness led to this, this murder. And so I don't think any of us are opposed to helping the police, but at the same time, as much as is possible, we'd like to avoid anything that will further endanger us by getting us more entangled into politics that we don't understand as foreigners.
I see. That said, I cannot promise that this investigation will not. It is seeing as the motive of the murder seems to have been political, I cannot promise in any way that the investigation will not have political implications. We are
Right.
handling this obviously as neutrally as possible as members simply of the Jalbar police force, but we cannot. It deals with two major political,
Hmm.
not necessarily major, but a political activist.
I believe the best way to state our answer then would be, at the moment, we would like to abstain from participating in this investigation. When there's more evidence uncovered, we'd have to make another decision based on what is learned to know whether or not we feel it's worth the risk to become involved at that point. But in the meantime, we are staying around so that if we are needed, we can become involved again.
Is this the opinion of all of you?
Is this what we
I will.
say?
I will say that that once the investigation gets rolling, it is not likely that we would continue to need ongoing services, but it could be it. We will keep you in mind. In point of the bottom line stands that you are free to leave the city if you so choose. We are not going to. I assume that once again, I have been satisfied. I don't see why anyone else would need further proof that you are not involved, unless you're. The Talebs have no reason to believe anything different from what I have reported to them, and I reported exactly what you said. So there is no reason for you to remain in the city if you do not wish to.
Okay.
In
Thank
that case, I will leave the ball in
Time to
your.
call on us personally.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for taking the time to call on us personally to explain the situation.
Yes. If you choose to become involved, you will. I will say that we will not. It is not likely that we will come to find you. If you choose that you wish to be involved, then you are welcome to check in and ask, or use whatever information has been made available to the public.
I got it. Nope, shoot.
Okay.
Are we agreed?
We
Anything
are
else that
agreed.
needs to be? Good. I will take my leave. And by the way, in future, I would suggest that when you speak with the police, if there are other members of your party that you are associated with, or you might want to mention them, unless, of course, you simply picked up a random passenger or addition to your troop in the past 2 hours. He kind of smiles a bit sarcastically at Clover and walks out of the room.
That was much less friendly than he implied it to be.
Which part was?
The entire thing.
Yep.
Did you not catch the veiled threats throughout the entire conversation?
Such
We
as?
can't protect you from anything that might happen.
Yeah.
I'd say our escape plan might need to be a little more concrete than what we have. I need a
Okay.
smoke. And I'm gonna walk outside.
I think what we should do is tomorrow morning, someone should go and get a room at the Evil Serpent Inn, whatever it's called.
Sleeping Viper.
Sleeping Viper.
Serpent in.
The drowsy serpent.
That we have permanently as a private room, that we can then put some provisions in, so that if we ever need to, we can go there and access that. I would like to go and actually attempt to contact the Taleb's son, to talk to him, because he seemed of a different mind than his parents, and could be very helpful to us if I explain the situation to him in the right light.
Okay.
And then someone should also get us provisions, and we should establish exactly what we'll do to be able to leave the city if we need to.
We split up then. Some people get provisions, some people get the room. You try and talk to the kid.
Yes.
I'm willing to go try and get the room.
Well, for right now, I recommend that we get some rest.
Yes.
Who do we send to get food?
That seems like a
Not
job for
Felix.
Azalea.
Yes.
I can get food.
I
Yeah.
only vote not Felix.
It's good bread.
How many courses?
All of them.
Are we in
I'm gonna reach into my pack and pull out 50 of the gold that I stole and hand it to Azalea and just be like, as many courses as you would like.
As long
The
as it
extras can go
travels.
into packs as provisions.
Okay. Alright,
So,
yeah.
the current plan is expect to stay in the city, but have the provisions and the plan to bolt if we have to.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
And what was the second part? I'm sorry.
Have the plans and the provisions to bolt if we have to.
Right.
I agree.
All right. Be almost like a vacation in the city if, there weren't veiled threats everywhere.
Yeah, usually I prefer vacations without the threat of potential bodily harm.
Sounds like a very boring vacation.
Yeah, that's what makes it nice. Nobody trying to kidnap you.
Mm.
Great.
My
Or
mother
kill you.
I've
My
never
mom
had
said
anyone
that
try to kidnap
Sorry,
me
that's from
before.
past experience.
With your
Ah.
stalker?
my
That's-
mother.
Common?
What, getting kidnapped?
Yes.
It was a bit of an unusual circumstance. I wasn't on vacation, that's what we were asking.
One thing to note about us Dark Elves is we always seem to be followed by some sorts of political intrigue.
Honestly, I can't tell if that's just because we're given jobs that fit that, or if we have some supernatural propensity to get into trouble.
I feel
Maybe
it might
both.
just be the stigma against us.
Potentially.
Either way, you guys are a little bit unfortunate to have found us as potential friends.
Sorry.
Well, no.
Also, we're kind of a pain, we know.
Maybe when we get our memories back, we will discover we're all actually mortal enemies that fell asleep in the middle of a fight.
I don't
That
think we can
would
be
be
mortal
quite
enemies,
the plot twist.
Yes, it would.
It would be. I've never been one for having too many enemies, though, so.
I think I got my fill of that a while back. I kind of miss my peaceful life. Must admit, this is more interesting, though.
Well, it is
Yeah.
late, and we have 2 different rooms. Gentlemen, would you care to join me in the other room?
Let us adjourn. As the gentlemen adjourn to the honeymoon suite.
I was trying to figure out where on that, but I couldn't.
That's going on the Chris
Hey,
list.
ladies and gentlemen, another Saint Rat.
Wow. Wow. Progressive. Alright, anything you guys want to do before you go to bed?
So do we mean go to bed in game or actually go to bed?
Both, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm
That
fine
would be
with cutting this off at
preferable.
11.
Everybody,
I did note that I was going outside for a smoke.
Yes. Are you hookahing or are you using a pipe?
I use my pipe. I don't have a hookah.
I mean, you could just be cultural and get a hookah,
No.
Hookah's like way
Smoke
worse
with all
for
the
me
other
than
buddies
smoking a
on the
pipe.
roof.
It's not
What'd you say?
sensible.
Just keep it in your travel pack.
I have a very long, curved mahogany
Do you
pipe.
have a Gandalf pipe?
Not
Of
quite.
course he does.
Who doesn't have a Gandalf pipe? Everybody should have a Gandalf pipe.
Including, except Gandalf. Gandalf.
No, it's made out of mahogany, but it has a bunch of like little failed tricks that he tried to embed into the wood and stuff like that, because he wanted it to be kind of like a hidden weapon type thing, and it didn't really work out. So now he just uses it as a pipe.
Cool.
Only it might someday explode in his face.
Potentially, who knows?
There's
Fen,
a
you're
little-
actually
walking with
go-
no nose.
Then we'll go join Ben outside.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything? All right, hearing nothing. Yeah, Thenmir, you go out, and it's really beautiful out here. If you look over the edge, you do notice that the guards are gone. Like over the front edge, the guards standing out front of the tavern is gone. But you look up and you can see all kinds of constellations. It's beautiful out here. The night has grown pretty cool, so if you have a cloak, you kind of pull it around yourself, as there is a bit of wind blowing down and kicking up some of the sand. But it's a very nice night. It's very relaxing. You notice on some of the other houses that there are people kind of wandering about and walking on top of their roofs, just enjoying the cool night air. But it's relatively peaceful. You can hear music coming from downstairs. All right.
Okay.
Then you're out there too. Cool.
And we'll just go out and sit next to her brother.
Okay.
Possibly
once-
ask him when he started smoking.
Too long ago to remember by this point.
Chewing
He
tobacco.
went to smoking, I went to drinking. We've got some real healthy habits.
Can elves
Mm.
get cancer?
Can elves get what?
Cancer.
Oh, it's cancer.
I would like to think not, but I imagine I'd be wrong.
Elf cancer.
hashtag elf cancer
In the
awareness
future,
month.
Ben dies of cancer and Ben dies of liver disease.
That's just guys don't even get to die adventuring. You just die from people problems.
This wasn't on Joseph Campbell's Mono Myth chart.
I would like to note that after we retire, not as in like when we're ready to die from cancer.
That's definitely where I thought you were going with that.
No.
Time to die for cancer.
So
Cheery.
after we retire to bed, Thenmir does not fall asleep.
Good job.
He
Thenmir.
waits until everybody else is asleep, and then he's gonna go to the other room. And this is gonna take a hell of a stealth check. But I'm wearing my black cloak. I've taken one of my shots of courage, and I'm gonna try to steal a couple daggers from my sister.
No.
Okay,
Drunk burglary!
which ones are you trying to take?
just a couple of standard daggers out of your bag.
Yeah, she doesn't keep them in her bag.
She doesn't.
Hashtag
No.
burgle drunk.
Ben's
He doesn't know
daggers
that.
are on her even when she sleeps. And that includes the dagger hidden in her cleavage.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my
Okay.
word!
I don't know about
This is
that
a
one.
family
I don't know
show!
about that one.
so
Okay.
To be fair, but however, Fen, you have noticed that she has, like, from time to time, that she has daggers that she pulls off of her body, but you don't know that she doesn't have any in her bag. So go ahead and make your stealth check.
Hide the children, it's time for boob dagger.
Oh dear.
Dangerous.
Do better.
Look,
Dirty
if you're
20.
getting searched, it's a place that no one's likely to be patting down.
Dirty 20 against
hope
Servena's
not.
passive perception.
Heck yeah, it's a dirty 20.
I'm not going for that one. I don't know about that one. I'm just trying to take two normal daggers, the first two I see. And that one is not going to be
Okay,
one of the first
so-
two that I
All I
see.
can say is roll
You know
time.
what?
If you're going through the bag, it's one thing. If you're trying to take them off her body, you'll have to sleight of hand that.
Okay, he's not. Well,
I know.
we'll see. Okay, but I also want to point out the fact that like because your video is still lagging, you were like getting like really mad about like you were getting very animated, but like you were still like talking like like it looked like you were just like still like and yeah, I'm just like taking her boob dagger. Just very delayed reaction.
I'm uncomfortable.
Oh,
That
Okay,
makes
so-
two of us.
good. What was your self check?
A dirty 20.
Oh, dirty 20. Sorry.
Do I need to roll a sleight of hand? Because if I don't find any in her bag, I am going to try to take 2.
Okay. Well, no, those the stealth check to get into the room. Can those of you who are sleeping in that room? That's all the girls, right?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
all the girls are in
But
there.
if they're asleep, wouldn't it be passive perception?
Possibly
that's-
perception with disadvantage.
Either of the two.
Yeah. So either one. Let's go with passive.
Okay, so
'Cause that's
10
not- 'cause
plus
that-
your
that wouldn't be
wisdom
fair.
modifier.
10 plus your perception modifier.
Yes, yes, you're right here.
So
Passive
I-
is 15.
15
It's not really
total?
possible for any of us to have a 20 passive perception at
Not
this
at this
point.
level.
Not
Yeah,
definitely
14 total.
definitely not Clover.
Okay. So so you managed to creep into the room. And kind of creep across the floor. What are you going for? Bag or body?
Or body bag.
Or boot?
Oh, my brother's trying to kill me in my sleep.
I'm gonna start with the bag, because he doesn't know that she doesn't keep any daggers in her bag.
Logical.
I really want to say investigation check. It's annoying me. That's not an investigation check, but please make a perception check.
Perception.
I mean, you're digging around in her bag.
Okay, that is a 10.
You feel a whole bunch of like other lumpy items. You feel like you touch like a tea bag. There's something squishy in there. You're not sure what that is. You don't want to
Don't
know.
actually have a tea bag.
Hashtag lumpy
Living,
daggers.
it's funny.
He accidentally grabbed Azalea's bag.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Yes. So you go. You
Oh,
feel
come
you
on.
feel
It's not a
something-
critical failure
Hold on.
perception
No.
check.
No. You feel
And
it,
I
and
know
then
what her bag looks like.
hang on, we're doing it for the comedic effect because I like all of you. So you feel the tea bag, you feel something squishy, and you're like, wait a minute, this is the wrong bag. So then you go in. You're not sure what that squishy thing was. You're really hoping, Todd didn't do a dookie with the bag.
Spell ingredients of some kind.
Azalea is not a druid, so she would not be okay with that.
Okay, so you locate your sister's bag, and you dig through, and you don't find any daggers. You find like other, I don't know.
You
what-
find some rope, some tinker's tools. You find a practice lock. You find... I don't know if she keeps thieves' tools on her or in her bag. I haven't decided that, but
All right. So
you find some flour.
Yes, the sticky stuff
find-
is now coated.
You find the bag of flour that is being kept for for makeshift explosives.
Okay. Then here comes the sleight of hand check to try to steal a couple daggers off her person.
Okay, make sleight hand
Roll
check.
low, please.
Make a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that you'd be more aware of somebody like rifling around your body.
Yeah.
That's a natural 19. So 23 sleight of hand.
Double 19s. Natural 19s.
Okay.
Plus 5 will take it to 24.
Oh.
And you are like, it's like the Pink Panther. It's beautiful. You like go up. You like
I get
lift,
one of the daggers and in the process of the second one.
you lift the blanket, and you notice immediately like one of the daggers kind of glinting off of her hilt, and you start to slide it.
And I'm actually have to tell you what Ben's reaction is at some point,
Okay.
whenever you get the chance. But
Like in one second. So then
yeah, go for it.
You're sleeping relatively like kind of peacefully, and then you feel something shift on you, and you're not sure what it is. You know it's not your body, but something is being moved. Go for it.
Ven kicks hard and basically tries to judo flip whoever is touching her, like forearm into the neck onto the floor.
What's the chance of her
Azalea.
hard kick?
Ven wakes
versus
up
C-
violent.
Did we have you guys write down CMB versus CMD?
I don't think so.
No.
I thought
No.
we did.
Well, like I have my CMB and CMD.
I'm
Well,
gonna
I-
do CMB
I wrote
versus
down
CMD.
mine.
Okay, do CMB for Ven. CMB.
Is that a roll basically?
What are the chances
yes.
that her kick? Because like I'm
What is the
crouched
chances
next
that
to
I
her.
kick my brother in the balls?
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about her kick hitting my
Quotes
holster.
list.
Let someone else get to put that in the quotes list. I have to roll right now.
Yes.
But all right.
Nice. Oh, that's not even the right die, Tasha.
Tasha said.
You make your rolls, and then we'll figure that out. It'd probably be a pretty low percentage.
Does this ruckus wake Azalea up?
Probably.
see.
Okay.
Well, sorry, no.
Most likely,
I don't
but
That's gonna be a. Oh wait, hang on. I didn't modify that.
Sorry.
I think that's a 14.
14. Okay.
Ethan's
You
over.
ready for Thenmir's glorious CMD?
Oh God, is it 15?
It's 12. I have a 12 CMD.
How do you have a 12 CMD?
Because I have a pitiful strength modifier and a mediocre dexterity modifier.
Yeah,
16 ain't bad.
I don't think mine's any better than that.
Mine's 12.
Mine's 15.
Ooh, look at me. I have a positive strength modifier.
No, I don't. I have a
You have
0
a 0?
modifier.
Okay,
I'm just really
you have
desperate.
you have non-negative. I think
Yes.
you're the only person in the party who has a non-negative strength modifier.
Oh no,
My combat maneuver.
I have a neutral strength. I have neutral strength.
My combat maneuver defense is an 8.
Okay. So now that my brother has sufficiently assaulted me with horrific noises,
Oh wait, no, it's only a 13. I can't
Why
count.
is everyone's brother assaulting them?
It's
Exactly.
still beats a 12, okay?
Yeah.
okay, so 13 versus 12.
Yeah.
We're keeping the one-off rolls, I guess.
It's
Okay.
only appropriate for the two of you, though.
So
I have
you
such terrible luck.
So you grab him, and it takes you a little bit because you're off, because you're coming from laying down, and he's honestly laying over you, so it's a bit unbalanced.
Creepy.
But you kind of knee you, and you do catch him in the balls, and you kind of crash, almost more crashing on top of him.
But
And
she doesn't hit the holster.
not directly, but
Good.
the holster will hit the ground when you hit the ground.
Okay.
And you kind of land on top of him. Immediately, the rest of the girls wake up. Just, what is it? Who is it?
Can Azalea tell who this is, or does she just think someone's attacking them?
Make a perception check.
Oh no.
It's dark, oriented. Amari's already got her quarterstaff. Stuco's hissing,
Non-natural 20.
Okay,
Nice.
you can tell pretty quickly
Okay, you just that
before you blow somebody up. Please don't kill anybody.
yeah. Before Azalea casts ear-piercing scream on him.
Oh God. I'm sure our neighbors in the inn will appreciate that.
Nope, it's only audible to the person she casts it on.
I'm sure
Yes,
they'll
that's a
appreciate
great
that, though.
Which is what she was going to do if she didn't know it was
Thenmir,
said.
Berta, what the fuck do you think you're
This
doing?
is the children's channel. My gosh.
We said we're not appropriate for children.
You're not appropriate for children. If someone lets their child watch this.
We can't be responsible
I
for
question
consequences.
Yes.
You've been asked a question, my dear. Sir.
Yeah, and Ethan is too annoyed by these stupid freaking rolls to really know what the response would be. I guess he would just kind of go, "Don't worry about it. Just give me a dagger and I'll be on my way."
No!
Why
You are not going to sneak into my room and feel me up in the middle of the night trying to take my stuff.
Who said I was doing that?
Why didn't you
I
just
don't
ask her
know.
during regular hours?
Because she won't approve of why I need it.
Are you going to go kill someone?
Thenmir, can I talk to you outside, please?
Nah, he was planning on using a dagger for a peaceful thing.
You might want to cut an apple.
He hasn't shaved in a while.
Well, that is actually a thing. He's started to get some white stubble on the face. So, sorry, that's just unrelated.
Character development, dude.
His facial hair
If
is
you
not
get
character
off of me
development.
and lets me move, maybe.
unless I get the yes, I'm not really inclined to get off of you.
I'm already wolf.
Ben's
And
gonna
somehow I
like
got
he's
just
gonna
far
make a
enough to
move
move
of
me.
pantomiming. I'm assuming my hands are still mostly free.
You had to struggle to kind of get them out because she's like,
Okay. So I'm just gonna kind
literally
of like
laying
make a
on
move
you.
of pantomiming, like falling asleep.
What?
What in the world is happening?
That's a really good question.
World's worst game of
It's really
charades.
So you're like, oh, like this.
Two
So,
words sounds like
unless I
sleep.
get a yes, I'm not inclined, and Thenmir's not going to give a yes. So he's just gonna like, I guess I'm sleeping here tonight and just.
Oh.
Okay, you two should probably get off of each other before somebody walks in here and decides that this is suggestive.
Oh!
Laura, you've got a dirty mind.
Oh!
If they were going
Some
to
of the-
suggest it, I imagine you would have gone to Clover.
I'm going to
Clover's
slap her
going
in the face with that one.
Smitten!
Try make a dexterity check.
What's
7.
You missed. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. You like managed to like kind of catch her a little bit. Clover immediately is like, "What? But what
Red.
do you mean? Why would you say that?
Because I'm pissed off and not thinking.
But why? Why would he come to you?
Clover? I don't think it's about you.
Yes, it is.
It's not about you,
I'm
Clover.
not really sure that the intention was to upset you.
I'm going downstairs. Clover's just gonna like grab her blanket and like shuffle down the stairs very quickly.
Also, we would have lost Ethan.
Oh, way too long to do this.
Actually, though, what does he want with my knives?
Next room.
Have we been awakened by the
Why don't
girls
you go
yelling?
and murder the
He's gonna go kill the Twelves.
yeah the 12s?
So wait, have we been awoke by the girls screaming?
You know, if they
I don't
haven't,
know.
Azalea might go across the hall and knock on the door so they can like help them drag
What?
them back to the room.
Wait, what?
Okay, I'm gonna. All right. So Azalea's gonna like pat in. Suku's
She
gonna
thinks
like
maybe
run
they
in.
might know why Fen is in there.
Yeah.
Wait, who's where?
Here it is.
Hello? Do you guys know why Fen like attacked his sister in the
Wait.
middle of the night?
What? Oh,
Does anyone ever know why Finn does anything?
I woke up and then like I'm confused and I
We
was
all
sleeping.
Stuko's gonna like come streaking in at this point, just like hissing and like jumping on your beds and like running around.
what's the matter, little buddy?
Now Then is sitting on Then because Then is being dumb.
Well, why don't we leave the two of them into that, and we can all just hang out in here?
Yeah.
Is Cervena's bag in reach?
Anybody hungry?
No.
We can eat, we can drink
She
tea,
doesn't
we
keep
can
it
have
next to
pillow
her
fights,
bedroll.
we can play charades.
Well, okay. Let's adjudicate this. Then where was your bag?
I have no idea.
Okay, I'm going to say the way that I had thought about it was like there were like multiple bags like lined up kind of like against the wall. So I would say I don't think it's going to be within reach because it's over here. Like
The floor dusty.
Clearly, they've got crappy housekeeping staff here.
I mean, it's dusty like in some places. It's like dusty over by the wall.
I guess since we're a few couple floors up, it wouldn't be like
Actually, no.
tracking dirt.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna take that back. Actually, there's a little bit more dirt than you would expect, like in a regular hotel room, just because people track sand everywhere anyway. But you imagine it's probably.
I'm gonna
a
see
lot
if I can
heavier.
get some sand and throw it into Cervena's eyes.
I just find it hilarious that like
Oh, it is
you
odd.
steal my dagger.
It's so hard.
Yeah,
Well, first of all, Ven has not moved to get off of you, correct?
that's correct. Ven is not planning on moving until she gets an explanation. Ven is still trying to sit there with her forearm on her brother's throat.
Okay.
Francis
You
is just
need
gonna
to- you
walk
need to
across
make
and
a-
just close the door to their room and just walk back into the honeymoon
Okay.
suite.
What? is this game?
I don't understand what's happening, and I'm trying to figure
Yeah,
this out.
playing-
I'm going to say, then try and make a dexterity check because you're still having a hard time moving around.
Yeah.
Also, what'd you get?
6.
Oh my word, can you
We
dice?
need to get your new dice.
You're unable to like. You manage to like kind of scrabble around and you get a handful like, but it's not. There really isn't a whole lot. Like the
Yeah,
staff here try and keep it at least relatively clean. So you get like half of a handful, but you're not able to like pull your arm up and do anything with it.
Do not make me knee you in the balls, then.
I will say, Ven, to you, it doesn't really look like much of anything. It's just like, why is he like scrabbling around like with his arm, like you know? It really, to you, it looks more like he's still trying to like find a way to get you off of him.
Older sisters.
Okay, at the
Completely
same time,
relax. I'm gonna
younger
say
brother creepily coming in and trying to steal my stuff off of me in the middle of the night.
Really normal
Bizarre
younger
and
brother
creepy.
activity.
I'm gonna completely relax and I'm gonna say, fine, we can talk. Get off.
Sense motive, is he lying?
Make a sense photo check. I'm putting the high DC higher because like
Ooh.
you don't really have any reason to disbelieve him.
I got a natural 20 on my bluff check.
I only had a 19.
Oh my
Oh my god, you guys
word!
are like creepy.
So 22.
And 3 of you rolled 14s at the same time, so like y'all need to like quit it with the cursed dice. You get the he's clearly you know that you've overpowered him. He knows that you overpowered him. So there's no reason for him to keep fighting you. So yeah.
I will stand up, but I'm standing between him and the door.
Okay.
Out the window.
just.
And so ended Venmir before the cancer could kill him.
You just see Boots going. You see Boots like fall like over the.
So
Defenestration is not a healthy lifestyle choice.
Thank you, Harlan.
That's
Ethan, are you still
gold.
there? Or are you... Okay, you are still there.
Unacceptable. Decapitation is not a healthy lifestyle choice.
Defenestration.
The original quote is
The original
decapitation.
quote is decapitation.
Oh.
But
Ethan?
defenestration fit really well. Also,
Yes.
I don't get a chance to use that word. I use it more often than one
Defenestration.
other thing.
The
I
defenestration
still
of
don't get to
Prague,
use it all
everybody,
that
was an
often.
important event.
Yes.
First,
Ethan,
second,
are
or
you
third?
still there?
Who-
I think Ethan may have died again.
Wait,
Ethan, are you there?
was-
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
no, he's
okay.
still there. Okay.
Alright. For the sake of time, I'm gonna ask. I love the peanut gallery, but can we back it off just a little
Yeah,
bit just so we
sorry.
can get through this interaction?
Sleep.
Okay. I don't know what kind of roll I'm gonna have to make for this, but I'm gonna try. After she stands up, I'm gonna stand up and facing her, try to sprint past her and grab a dagger as I go.
Okay, also the double audio thing freaked me out for a second.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're trying to sprint past her,
Mwahahaha.
grab a dagger, and then what? Okay, well we're not even
And
gonna
I'll-
get to that. You're
and
gonna
it's-
sprint
as
past.
soon as I see him move, I'm gonna try and tackle him again.
Okay. However, he's going the opposite direction of you, so
I thought he said he was going past me.
Yeah, because she's standing between me and the door. So
yeah,
I'm
but
trying
the
to
bag's
like
not open.
grab a dagger quick and then take off
from her.
sprinting.
Duh. I'm stupid. Oh my gosh, we just talked about how there's no daggers in the bag. I'm really tired.
I'm not heading for the door. Is there a window?
What did we say about defenestration?
Make up your mind. Which one are you doing?
I'm confused.
Okay, she's between you and the door. The windows are behind you, so
'Cause,
if
like-
you want to go through the window,
yeah,
you need
okay.
to like
So I
boomerang.
want to try to, because I'm gonna stand up so that I'm real close to it, like within arm's reach of her. I'm gonna grab a dagger and sprint out the window.
I'm really about to make you guys roll initiative for this shit.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm.
I'm so lost at this point.
It doesn't matter. Everybody's lost. I'm just trying to figure out how to roll this.
disarming someone as a combat maneuver.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do again. I'm gonna do CMB versus CMD.
I'm rolling CMB this time.
No, I'm actually gonna have you roll CMD to not get tackled.
I don't roll CMD. I just have a stat.
CMD
No.
is just a stat.
Sorry. Yeah. So can you roll a CMD?
So is he automatically getting one of my knives then?
No, not necessarily.
Figured I'd have to roll a dex check to try and grab a dagger.
Yes, that's gonna be. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be sleight of hand in that case. I'll give you the choice.
Rolled a 15 to try to steal a dagger.
And my CMB is a 16.
What'd
Wait,
you say?
it's a CMB to try to steal a dagger?
No, she's.
I was
rolling-
told to roll CMB. It's a 16.
Okay.
Okay.
She's rolling CMB against you to see if she can tackle you.
Okay, so I rolled a 15 to steal a dagger, but I get tackled, so it doesn't make a difference either way.
Okay. Yeah. So you now have a dagger in your hand, and you are now back on the
On
ground.
the floor, being sat on.
Wait, you've switched positions.
What's your
now?
CMB? What's your CMD actually?
Me?
Yes.
-1.
What is it?
My CMB is a -1.
Your CMD.
CMD is a 12.
12. Okay. Yeah. No, she's sitting on you.
Well, okay, that puts a wrench in things. That throws a spanner in the works.
I
It's
will
got all
say for your
pear-shaped,
sake, is
hasn't
this
it?
an unsheathed dagger?
Oh God, what do
This
I
is
have
an
to roll to
unsheathed
not
dagger.
shank myself?
Oh
No, I'm not
god!
gonna let you shank yourself.
Please!
You just
no,
made
Please
let him
it.
shake
Oh no,
himself trying to
shake!
steal.
Oh no,
If
shake!
I'm running away from her and then she pulls me, I very well could shank myself.
I'm gonna roll a percentile.
This just
I'm
keeps
gonna
getting
come in here
better.
and kill you, stabbing yourself.
And they'll stab you down.
70, or rather 37.
All right, you're a lucky duck. So you managed to you hold your arm is now basically being twisted because you're holding it behind you like this. I don't actually know if people
Can I put him into an arm lock like that?
can do that. Sticking out and. What do you say?
Have I effectively got him in an arm lock?
I don't care.
That would be a pin.
He's laying face down.
I mean, if
with his arms
arm's behind, I've probably got the leverage to snap his arm backwards at the elbow.
Well, he's also got a knife, so you gotta deal with that.
Karate chop him. Right. in the
So, but he's got it
nuts.
stuck out, so it's pointed, so he's not stabbing himself. But you also seeing that you have to be careful now that you don't accidentally get stabbed on it.
Do I need to break your legs? I will do it. If you want a knife, buy your own. Don't steal mine.
You won't do anything, so someone has to.
Oh, you're gonna go kill the Talevs on your own?
Like I said, you won't do anything, so someone has to.
Again, get your own damn knife.
It's the middle of the night.
So you thought my sister, who's been through terrible traumatic stuff, been kidnapped and beaten, should really somebody I try to steal from in the middle of the night. Yeah, that's a great idea.
No, I thought my sister is someone that owns far more knives than she ever uses, and I could afford to steal one or two from her.
I want to be in the other room right now eating chicken.
They've been very good boys up until now.
I love how
I'm not joking, Ben. I will break your arms to stop you from stealing from me.
I'm glad to see that the attempt at reconciling goes both ways.
You tried to steal from me in the middle of the night to kill people.
At least I wasn't threatening you harm. I get it, we're dysfunctional siblings, but at least I wasn't threatening to kill you or maim you.
Benmir, I don't want you killing people in case they catch you.
If they catch me, they catch me. Oh well, I'll tell them I worked alone because I very truly did.
Yes, and then I have to come haul your sorry butt out of prison.
I don't imagine I'd end up in prison.
Oh, you think they'd kill you on the spot?
More than likely. What does that say about my confidence in being successful?
That you're an idiot.
At least she's honest.
Fine. I won't go to kill the Talevs tonight, but know that the idea is still locked away in the vault.
I understand that the idea is locked away in the vault. And what the hell, then? 5 hours ago, you were all for running out of the city and not getting involved in any of this. Now you want to
No.
slaughter people?
I was all for you leaving the city. I had
Yeah,
no
I didn't
intentions
want
of
to leave
leaving
the
the
damn
city
city.
alive.
Please understand that in threatening to break your arms and or legs, I am trying to protect you.
That's going on the quotes list.
And the sad thing is, she means it completely.
Yes.
This messed up, or just you two?
Say again?
So are all dark elves this messed up, or just you
Yes.
two?
Yes.
I mean, our parents weren't that great,
Yes.
but in a different way. Maybe our parents were right calling us freaks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyway,
Maybe give it a little bit of time to play out before you go straight for the murder hobo route. On the off chance you don't need to, say, put yourself in lots of danger trying to slaughter people, maybe use your brain for once in your life. I realize that's a stretch. And wait to see if you actually have to, or if you've already managed to wiggle out of it.
Cervena, understand that my mentality is that if my taking a risk of punishment in killing the Talevs, or my success in killing them, means getting you out of the city without reproach, then I will do
Fenrir,
it.
I'm a big girl. I can take care of myself.
I understand, but I don't want you to have to. Didn't you just say you didn't want to kill?
I did.
I have very little conscience left anymore. I figured I might as well not break yours.
Look, I appreciate that. But also, again, there is a possibility that we do not actually need to kill anybody and can still get out of this without being in trouble. Maybe wait and see.
Fine.
And for the love of God, if you do decide to kill them, tell me. I'm not going to kill anybody, but I might be able to help you cover your tracks. You're putting me in a very awkward situation here because I don't want you going into danger. And I also don't want to kill people. So this is the best I can do. Also,
She doesn't want to be a murderer, but an accomplice to murder is fine.
I'm perfectly okay with murder as long as I don't have anything to do with it.
She doesn't even want to be the accomplice to murder. She just doesn't want Ben to get caught and killed.
Oh dear.
We seem to be getting into a lot of trouble, each trying to keep the other from getting into trouble.
Maybe we should just agree to both slow down a little bit.
I'm seriously, though. I'm seriously. Haha. Hello, brain.
Seriously.
If you're going to try and kill them at any point, please do tell me, so I can try and at least help you work through your whole plan and spiel, and might be able to. Again, why the sudden, to quote Kira here, hate boner for celebs? Again, not my phrasing.
Grief.
You weren't there for the little chat that I had with them.
Fair enough.
I would
Seriously,
shake hands with you, but you've already
gonna
got
try and
mine
take
rather
off?
bound.
you gonna try and take off with my knives again?
I let go of the knife that I'm currently holding.
Then we'll shake his hand.
From behind, while kneeling on his back.
It's the world's most elegant handshake.
Alright.
And just because she's Ven, she is going to sense motive on if he really means it.
Oh my god.
Roll sense motive.
I'm sorry, I couldn't stop paying attention.
What is wrong with you?
Stop paying attention.
15.
Well, I mean, he's not lying. He has agreed.
You say that like there's a but.
I mean, he still has every intention of, if stuff goes south, he's gonna go kill the Talevs. But for right now, he's agreed.
There's always a but.
I feel like Finn is just gonna, they're gonna leave the entire country. Something's gonna go south. That's just gonna be like, well, we have to do what we gotta do.
Goodbye, Mr. Prime Minister, Butcher, Baker.
The flower siblings are going to go for murder.
But it's not even gonna kill the Red. He's just gonna go back to the Tulls and just be like, sorry.
I will not stab anybody, but I can help you plan routes in and out and potential distractions.
Plan A is still murder.
But let's agree that we will try to see how things pan out before we become murder hobos, okay?
I don't understand this terminology of murder hobo.
Someone without a fixed home who goes around killing people.
Very well.
Seeing as you're currently living out of an inn and trying to assassinate a couple of people, you kind of are fitting the term.
You're not wrong. As per usual.
Yes, well, that's why I'm your older sister and I have to pin you to the ground to get you to use your brain.
You're my older sister, so you have me to the ground to keep me from committing murder. What have lives become?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure our parents would be horrified, and I'm kind of glad.
I already know they are.
Oh, good! When did you last see them?
It's just intuition. I haven't seen them since the last time you did.
Alright.
To answer the chat,
What was the
a
chat?
sniper rifle with a range of 80 feet when it's that loud isn't really gonna help.
No, it's not.
What you really wanted to do was buy a silent spell.
And make it a permanence, do permanence of the silent spell on the end of my gun.
Spend all of our money.
Oh, it's gonna be a lot
Alright.
more than all of our money right now.
Yes, it is.
So.
Alright.
Well, that
Now that
was-
I have made our session go a full minutes longer than it was supposed to, I really thought it was going to go a lot smoother, and that next session would be beginning with Fenmir's horrifying descent into an attempted
assassination.
assassination. Okay.
Very entertaining. Alright. In the interest of time, I'm gonna say you guys can go back to your beds. Everybody shuffles around.
I am
and-
taking my knife back.
I already let go of it.
Does anybody care why Clover's like not here? Like, just like
Yeah, I have to go make amends with
Yeah.
Clover too. Can we just assume that?
No,
happens?
you don't have to go make amends with Clover. Loverboy has to go make amends with Clover. I'm just gonna slam the door behind me and go back to sleep.
Does Loverboy go and make amends to Clover?
Let's deal with that next time.
Azalea is like snacking on a piece of bread and is like, "Are you guys done? I would like to go back to sleep. And if you finish, I mean, I don't want to like interrupt important family conversations, but my bed is in here.
Apologies, Azalea.
No need to
Oh,
Her
apologize."
sleep wouldn't have been disturbed if Cervena wasn't so
I'm
protective.
sorry. You thought that a woman who's been kidnapped and beaten was not going to wake up and immediately react violently when she found someone pawing over her in her sleep?
I agree with her. She's not the one who caused this.
Yeah.
Go
like-
to bed then.
Can I suggest that we buy a bell to tie around him when we go to bed? like
That's acceptable. I find people entering
Manacles?
my room while I'm sleeping somewhat
Medical, like,
disturbing.
cowbell?
We need more cowbell.
Okay, so you say that, but I have actually been in a rehearsal when we played Mahler 6 last year, where the conductor was like, "I want more offstage cowbell!"
Oh gosh.
For real.
All right.
Because
Alright.
Mahler 6 not only calls for a giant
Bedtime.
hammer hitting a box, it also needs offstage cowbells.
Alright, we need to put a fire
Alright,
extinguisher
so-
to this trash fire.
And
All right, quotes.
Gross!
Well, I want to wrap up. So,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Fenmir, you find yourself still pushed out of the room. Just as Clover starts to come up the stairs, she kind of makes very brief eye contact with you, and then like kind of just like almost like hides her face and like shoves her like pushes past, and like hides in the girls' room. A few minutes later, the rest of you all like start making your way out. Stuco comes streaking out of the boys' room and ends up back in the girls' room, and you hear him thumping around the room for a while.
What is with this cat?
Okay, this cat is doing exactly what my cat does whenever I try to go to bed.
Exactly.
Is that why you did it?
Not in like I'm just imitating all the cats that drive me insane every time that I've tried to go to
You
sleep.
hear that, monster?
Stuco's like playing air hockey by himself wherever he goes.
Yes, the problem is that
We call it the technical term is getting the zoomies.
yes, the problem is that Stuco is like 25 pounds and getting this.
We need to bribe everybody in this freaking hotel.
Dear
Alright.
I
hotel.
would like to comment on a slightly unrelated note that if Clover is crushing on this hot mess, there's an issue.
Clover likes the
There's
bad
no
boys.
accounting for taste.
Bad elf.
I'm the bad.
She's gotta think for that
Aw.
out.
Anyway, all right. So in the interest of that, we will close it there. So can I get my quote, people?
Quote people.
Alright. Harley, I haven't been here in a long time, so I have no idea what's going on. Tasha, everything has gone wrong. Harley, how is that different from usual? Tasha, everything has gone wrong, but with really powerful people. Harley, I repeat my previous question.
As the gentlemen adjourn to the honeymoon suite. Intro.
What are the chances that Cervetta kicks her brother in the balls? Tasha, put that one on the list.
Me!
Okay.
Please understand that in threatening to break your arms and or legs, I do mean to protect you. Cervetta.
She doesn't want to be a murderer, but being an accomplice to murder, she's fine with that. Noah.
Also, I asked about the chances because I was asking about the chances of getting kicked in the holster because my weapon is made out of wood.
Oh.
Wait, what?
It has a really elaborate wooden handle with a metal chamber, but then it has petricite for its barrel.
Is that
Okay, so
like
it
break or
wasn't one of the
something?
quotes. I was.
No.
So were you worried about it breaking or something? I'm confused.
No, I was worried about the petricite being damaged.
Ah.
That's what I'm. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Gee, you shouldn't have tried to steal from your sister in the middle of the night if you didn't want your Petrus-like gun to get damaged.
See, the thing is, he did almost steal from you, and it didn't get damaged. So, no harm, no foul. Therefore, no. I'm kidding.
He never learns consequences and boundaries. We need to set up consequences and boundaries.
Like breaking his arms.
As my mother said.
As my mother said.
Response.
Okay, what's the mom quote for this scenario?
My mom said,
No accounting for taste.
I think
That's the other scenario.
I think my mom said something like this. It is better to be... Nah, I have nothing. I have nothing.
Well, my mother always told me that if you try to steal from your siblings, be prepared to accept the consequences.
My brain was going for somewhere more elaborate.
Yes. All right.
Well, but that was the point, is that it's less elaborate, whatever.
On that note,
There are really
we're
weird
going
noises coming from my
call
living
it.
room.
We're gonna call it there. Thank you to everyone who participated and watched and made snarky comments. At this point, I know y'all are peanut gallerying, but I can't hear. So
I'm gonna see.
we're
Are there
just
more
gonna
quotes?
kill it there. Goodbye, Scott. Good night.
Good night,
Kira.
Kira.
Good night,
Gonna
Kira.
kill it like Ben wants to kill these people.
There we go. Kira has the saying, my mother raised her children
Farewell.
better than this and didn't need a saying for it.
What was it?
My mother raised her children better than this and didn't need a saying for it.
My parents were deficient.
Nice.
Sick
All
burn,
All right,
Kira.
y'all.
Good night,
Have
everybody.
an excellent rest of your week, and we'll see you hopefully next week or something like that. We don't know.
Next week adjacent. All right, let's get out of here,
Yeah.
folks. We're shutting down this.
Shut it down.
Yes.
And
This
now
mess.
they know.